interest rates right now. The Federal Reserve Board leaving interest rates unchanged for now. Members were not all in agreement with the war in Iran driving uncertainty. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has details.
This was a very divided, unusually divided decision by the Fed. 3 Fed officials voted to increase interest rates. They dissented with this decision. They instead wanted to see rates go up. It is very unusual for us to see that kind of division in the Fed when you're thinking about an interest rate hike like this.
The risk of flash flooding remains in portions of the Northeast following severe storms that swept through in the past 24 hours. Areas in eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York receiving 3 to 6 inches of rainfall in a short amount of time. Water rescues stretch from Tennessee to New Hampshire. At least 13 people have died in Japan following yesterday's powerful earthquake. Michelle Franzen, ABC News. Tense moments on Capitol Hill. Dr. Anthony Fauci appearing before a Senate hearing on the COVID response. The former medical advisor to President Trump during his first term was also the lead on the White House coronavirus task force and stayed on during the Biden administration. Biden gave him a preemptive pardon. Fauci invoked his Fifth Amendment rights today. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
President Biden's preemptive pardon, in the words of the chairman of this panel, Rand Paul, who would be the one making any kind of criminal referral to the Justice Department, doesn't cover future actions. It only is retroactive from the date the pardon was issued. And Fauci seemed to acknowledge that as well. So what Fauci was saying in his opening statement there is he believes that Chairman Paul is bent on putting him, in Fauci's words, behind bars.
Firefighters still cleaning up in France and Spain with widespread evacuation still in place. Fires in the Bordeaux region of France burning an area much larger than the size of Paris. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
This weekend, Seafair will have extra security following the shooting at the Bite. We'll dive into that coming up. But first, a check on your KIRO News Radio traffic brought to you by our Seattle Mariners. South 5 into Seattle, we're heavy between Northgate and Lake City Way. And then once you get the Lake City, things start to open up pretty good for you. North 5 is unusually heavy from about mid-Boeing Field into downtown. Another brief backup approaching 520 to the Ship Canal Bridge. South 405, scattered backups between Factoria and Renton. North 5 is thick through the Renton S-curves. 25 minutes from South Center to Bellevue. Out toward Gig Harbor, eastbound 16 jams up for about a mile or so as you approach Burnham Drive. Not really sure why, so don't get discouraged when you come up to it. It's just a brief backup. And then a collision reported at the intersection of State Route 302 and Purdy Drive. This report brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. Tonight, there will be a silent vigil at the International Fountain at Seattle Center. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin reports it will be hosted by the mayor's office and first responders.
They just want people to be able to bring notes and flowers to honor those who were killed. Now, we're learning more about those victims. That's 44-year-old Carlos Israel Sanchez Villalba. He died at the scene, unfortunately. Now, according to the GoFundMe for his family, he was a father of 3 and a loving husband. 56-year-old Ashley Whitehead was also shot while waiting in line for cotton candy with her daughter. She was taken to Harborview for surgery but didn't survive her injuries. We also know that 19-year-old Junior C. Nico Simo was shot and killed at the scene. Police believe that he was one of the 3 suspects involved in that shooting.
The vigil begins at 6:30. With Seafair set to start this week, there are a lot of safety concerns following Sunday's gang-related mass shooting at the Bite of Seattle. But Seafair's CEO Emily Cantrell is reassuring people with a powerful message of trauma and survival of her own.
I would never invite friends, family, or the general public to a Seafair event if I wasn't confident in the measures that we have in place.
Cantrell is a survivor of the 2017 mass shooting in Las Vegas. She says the Seafair Festival will include police, private security, and state-of-the-art weapons detection systems at every entrance. And for those who may be nervous, she says, try out the festival. You can always leave if you don't feel safe.
I empathize with everyone involved, and I know that they're left with invisible wounds that will last a lifetime.
A former Microsoft office campus in Issaquah could soon become housing. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, developer Vintage Housing is proposing to convert 2 vacant office buildings near Costco headquarters into 262 affordable housing units. The project would repurpose more than 400,000 square feet of existing office space without adding new buildings. If approved, the office-to-housing conversion could be completed by fall of 2028. Houghton Beach in Kirkland is open again. High levels of bacteria shut it down earlier this month. Public Health Seattle and King County recommended reopening the beach last night after recent testing showed improved water quality. County crews will continue taking weekly samples during the summer. And now check on your KIRO News Radio weather. Morning clouds and afternoon sun through Friday. 76 today, 78 tomorrow, 81 on Friday. Mostly sunny and 67 in downtown Seattle. Don't miss the biggest event of the year, T-Mobile Park 50 Season Celebration Night on August 8th, presented by Daktronics. Get your tickets at mariners.com. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday to everybody out there. Hope you're having a great day. Jake Skorheim sitting alongside Spike O'Neill, who is silencing his phone for the first time in history.
Well, live and learn the 108th time.
You know what?
I like to say 108th time's the charm.
I'm going to laugh. You watch as the audience. You guys don't make this a drinking game because you won't make it to work.
Or home.
But watch.
If you're able to drink on the job, first off, kudos to your boss.
Later in the show, in just a little bit, when we talk about Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes, see how many times Spikes refers to him as mayor.
Oh,
it's going to happen. A lot.
We need a sponsor.
Okay, but we have a lot of stuff. Yeah. That'd be really funny based on our mistakes. We do have a lot of great stuff to get to, a lot of stuff to talk about. There is this big swirling question that is now circling around regarding Mayor Katie Wilson and Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes. That's going to be the question of the day, and it's a good one today.
Is the Chief Barnes tattoo I'm getting to remind me of his official title a bad idea?
It may not be relevant.
It may not have hang time.
May not be relevant for a lot longer. We're going to get into all that, get your opinion on that in just a little bit. But to start off, security is on everybody's mind. There's a bunch of events. This is event time of the year. This is a beautiful time of the year.
Yeah.
There's big festivals happening. We got Seafair coming up, which is one that I can now say, because I married into a Seafair family, that my family has been attending for like 40 years straight, every single year. Luke Ducey joins us now on the show. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio reporter. Seafair, people are obviously in the wake of the shooting, the mass gang shooting at the Bite of Seattle. People are going like, hey, is it even safe to go to another big event in Seattle? And the CEO of Seafair is saying, listen, we're going to make sure everything about it is just about enjoying the event. And you got a chance to speak to her. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Seafair actually about to get underway, officially gets underway. The festival gets underway Friday, but about to get underway about 20 minutes from now. The Blue Angels are usually on time. 12:30 is when they're supposed to be flying over, arriving in Seattle. So,
absolutely.
Flying in formation around the city. Around the region, you're going to hear those roars in a little bit.
They should fly over that. You remember they flew too close to the beach a couple weeks ago? Well, arguably, too close to the beach.
Yeah.
They should see if they can get how close they can get that. See how close they can get that billboard.
Oh, the billboard that's saying
"Stop the boys from coming to see." See how close they can get.
There
See
you
how they get kind of some air draft to wash it away.
knock it down.
Yeah.
Emily Cantrell has a really unique insight into safety when it comes to crowds and festivals like this. Kind of funny, she finds herself in charge of, organizing big, large crowds like this. She absolutely understands why people could be nervous after Sunday night in Seattle Center. At least 3 gang members opened fire, police say, killing 2 innocent people, wounding 4 others. But when it comes to Seafair and the festival at Genesee Park, here's what she says.
I would never invite friends, family, or the general public to a Seafair event if I wasn't confident in the measures that we have in place.
And that's because she herself is a survivor of a mass shooting. The mass shooting in 2017 in Las Vegas. Remember that gunman stockpiled rounds and different guns.
Yeah, that country music show.
Shot down to a crowd at a country music show.
From a hotel.
She was there in that crowd, ran for her life, saw the bodies.
She was there as a spectator. but she wasn't involved in putting that event the way she's the CEO of Seafair.
Right, and
But
now she finds herself as, putting together. So she absolutely understands what people are going through, what they will go through, because she's still going through dealing with this trauma.
I understand what it feels like to go to a community event and have your sense of safety shattered in a matter of seconds. I empathize with everyone involved, and I know that they're left with invisible wounds that will last a lifetime.
Yeah, so for the festival, they're going to, she's been working with Seattle Police and the fire department, of course, but they're going to have private security all over the place, and they're going to have something different from the Bite of Seattle, and that is open gate weapons detection systems at every single entrance. These are things you may not notice. It may not necessarily be like a metal detector that you go through. They use these at venues all over the place. I've seen them in use at casinos. I was stopped one time because they thought I accidentally had a pocket knife in I didn't see any sensors anywhere. But
open gate sensors?
Yeah, they use these at NFL stadiums across the country and other venues. This is state-of-the-art technology that can even help find ghost guns, guns that are like made that are not metal.
They're imaging software.
I don't even know how the technology works, so I can't even speak to it. I wouldn't want to ruin anything anyway for security reasons, but I don't even know.
So he knows. I can see in his eyes. He's not telling us.
I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here, and you'd be buying stock in my company.
Luke knows.
But but that's why she but she also shared this. She has gone through it. She said she went to a football game in New Orleans one time. She was in the Dome. This is years ago when the Seahawks were playing, and she said she had to walk out of there because she just felt uncomfortable. And she's telling people, try Seafair out. Go to Seafair, the festival. If you don't like it and you don't feel unsafe, you can always leave. But she thinks that they see security, they will feel fine. But she said this real fast about the Bite of Seattle as well. Listen to this.
I actually did leave the Bite of Seattle myself a few years ago. I went to go see a show, and I ended up leaving because I didn't like that anyone could just walk in.
So she understands those security issues.
What's interesting about that is that we played, obviously in the aftermath of the shooting, it seems obvious, but there was even people ahead of time. We played this video the other day from a TikToker who goes around, I don't know if this is a food review guy, whoever he is, but he was going around on Saturday at the Bite of Seattle, the day before the shooting happened, making videos saying, like, has anybody noticed that there's no security here? And anybody can just walk in, anybody can essentially get into any of the tents, backpacks are not being searched, and he was noticing enough that he made videos about it. We played it on the show. He said, this is a problem. And then he actually had to walk around, and after a few minutes finally found somebody who would, like a security guard, who was standing behind a fenced-in area eating one of the booth vendors' offerings. And he's like, listen, this is a hole. You guys need to fill this hole. You need to figure out how to make this a more secure thing. Seafair has been very good about this for a lot of years. So Seafair has, and I've noticed it because, if you drive down there and you don't park in the, specific area, you try to park in one of the neighborhoods, they've got the neighborhoods locked off. You can't get into a lot of these neighborhoods because obviously they don't want to, hurt all the neighbors and, make them mad that they're having this event and now all their parking is gone. But there's fences up around. You can't just walk up to the side of the lake and start watching. Well, you have to get past security who are at every entrance. If you want to leave, they're checking that you have the correct thing to get back in. They've been very vigilant about that for many years.
Well, it's a ticketed event at Seafair, and that neighborhood that Seafair takes part in down at the Seward and Genesee?
Genesee Park.
Genesee Park. It's not the public space that the center is.
Yeah.
It's a ticketed event, so that I know Fridays are free without a ticket, but they're still going to have the fencing, the security checks for all involved because they want people to be safe there. Can they even do something like that at a public free event at Seattle Center? Are there too many
I
entrances?
think they could. Yeah, I think they could.
But open it up to like even restaurants. I don't know about you all, but I know that I always look around, check people out. I'm always looking, scanning. I always, kind of know where the exit is, but I always feel better with my back toward something. So
Is this a weird thing that
I always do that? I don't know if that's because of reporting days or what, but
I think it's a protective guy instinct thing because my wife is always surprised when if we're with the family or I'm with her somewhere, my spidey senses are extra. And you guys have probably all noticed this, but when we're walking around and my kids are around, it's not just about keeping them in line.
Sure.
If I'm just even with my wife and we're in a crowded area, I'm scanning. I'm looking for people that look suspicious to me. And I'm the same way with you with like wanting my back to a wall so I don't have to cover that as an entry point.
Has that increased of late, though? Luke, is that new to you? Used to be you could go anywhere and not worry about things like the events that happened on Sunday. It seems to me now they're coming so commonplace. I think we're all a little more heightened at everything we do.
I think that's the case, but I think particularly my wife does not notice these things.
When it comes to family, and you're right, yeah.
Does your guys' wives notice these things? Mike, have you noticed
I was going to bring this up, actually. So, like, I try to play that off very casually with my wife because, like, I'll be like, well, you could sit here, I'll sit here. And she's like, what are you making a big deal about it? And I always brush it off. I was like, I just read too many crime novels. I don't like having my back to an open door type of thing.
Yeah.
But that's what that is. It's like that spidey sense.
Instinct that kicks in.
My wife was in Dubai on business one year, and she
fancy.
said fancy, and she said this was odd, and she was taken aback at first, like, whoa, how rude, what the heck is this? And she was getting out. She was in the elevator with another man. He was from Dubai, and he was an Emirati, and the elevator doors open, and he kind of put his hand up, didn't touch her, put his hand up to make her pause, and he went out the elevator first. In our country, we would say, "Oh no, go ahead, please. You go first."
But he's scanning.
No, that's the custom. There is
Interesting.
men go first to make sure it's safe, and now you can go.
Can we play the clip from Chief Barnes yesterday?
Sure.
That's 1-0.
Okay.
Labeling Chief correctly. 1-0.
There you go. All right.
One of the most, to me, profound statements yesterday during the noon press conference with the mayor and the chief was his addressing Seattle's perspective on public events moving forward.
Is this the one with gang violence? Is that the one
this
you're
was
talking about?
It's at the top. It's called upstaffing.
Oh, here we go. Upstaffing. All right. Chief Sean Barnes, upstaffing.
We know that the summer is not over. We still have outside events. We still have concerts, festivals, and big group gatherings. I want to assure you that we will be upstaffing these events throughout the course of the summer.
It speaks to the video we played from the TikToker on Saturday. I think it speaks to the city's mood and tone right now and sense about where can we be safe? Can we be safe anywhere in the city? I think the chief did a nice job yesterday addressing that. Look, we're not saying we were understaffed at BITE, but we understand that there's a different mood in the city now and that we're going to address and make sure you guys feel safely. We're going to upstaff every event that the city has a hand in staffing and for protective purposes, security purposes. I think it was a great thing to hear.
Does it feel, and it's just interesting, Luke, you're here, and with your PR background too. Mm-hmm. Does this feel like a CYA statement where he feels like I just need to say this, or is this a genuine change in the way that they're approaching doing their jobs? Because Katie Wilson was also asked about cameras, and she was asked at the time, she said, hey, has this changed your perspective on CCTV cameras that are conspicuously absent in Seattle Center in a way that I did not realize? I just assumed that area had cameras because it's such a highly trafficked public space.
And there are cameras. If I'm reading, there are cameras, but there was a blind spot in the camera coverage. Am I right about that?
There are only private cameras there. There are no
there's no city cameras.
With the city cameras.
Yeah. And so she was asked by a reporter, is this change your thoughts on these cameras? And she said, we're sticking with my plan of action as I've already laid out.
Pending the audit results.
Which to me is just like her buying time to not turn on cameras, because she's been very, very public about not wanting cameras for privacy issues and for whatever reasons that she privately holds about these cameras and what they're using them for. And the problem is that this is a day removed from 3 people being killed, 2 definitely innocent bystanders being gunned down, and they're still looking for suspects in who is guilty, and they don't have access to that information now. And there's a very good chance they never find everybody involved because they don't have the best evidence, which would just be cameras, which are everywhere.
So you're asking, is it a recognition of need for the city's sake, or a CYA? Is that
There was also a quote from Assistant Chief Tyrone Davis the night of, at that 11 p.m. news conference on Sunday, where he did say, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't have the exact quote, but he said, we felt that we had staffed the event adequately, and it turns out that we obviously did not meet that goal.
Yeah.
So there is that kind of admission that obviously you can't necessarily predict what someone's going to do in a split second. However, without security precautions in place, like metal detectors or weapons detectors, etc., how would you know? It kind of ups that chance.
This is the problem that I think a lot of people are asking themselves right now is why didn't they prepare for this type of a thing ahead of time? Like Sean Barnes, when he was hired, he comes from Chicago, right? Chicago's a very busy city. It's a large city. It's larger in market size than Seattle by quite a few.
Chicago's like top 5.
Is it a top 5? He should have the insight into what the city needs for big events like this. Or somebody in the mayor's office. Now, I can understand that Katie Wilson may not have access to that type of information because she's never done a job like that. But somebody surrounding her might have said, hey, you know what? We're having these big events in the wake of the World Cup where we just had great success protecting everybody. Why did we have that success? Well, we really leaned in to make sure that we were visible. We had a bunch of police down there. We had a bunch of agencies down there. We had cameras running. All the things that they just successfully did. It's like they didn't do any of those really for Bite of Seattle.
A lot of them were being paid overtime though.
Federal and state
and grant money. So
I'm
just flipping this on like, I don't know, but I love the question because on the other side of that coin, I can hear people then saying, what if you flooded it with police officers? Why are we spending so much money on police officers for an event that's run by some private organization?
I understand that. If they need more police officers, that private organization should be paying more for those police officers. Are they paying the security to be there? I assume that they were paying the police officers to be there their time.
I don't know the answer to that, but I assume that some were probably working in overtime capacity.
It's a private company out of California. They waited more than 30 hours to respond before they finally got back to the vendors who were like, hey, when do we get our stuff back? All these different things. If they need more officers, someone from the city should have told them that. They should, especially if they're not a local company. Somebody from the city should have said, hey, by the way, you've only reserved X number of officers. We still don't know that number. I wish we knew that number.
Right.
Let's say they had 20 officers involved. We recommend actually you probably want to be closer to 25 or 30. So you're going to need
50 or 100. I mean, there were
the number
there were
is.
almost 300,000 visitors last year. They don't know the numbers this year yet, but with that size crowd,
I would imagine it's far less than that. I think we're talking like, do you have any idea the amount of officers who were on scene?
Definitely more than a dozen. I think it was in the dozens, maybe close to 2 dozen. I don't know the exact number.
We're talking
but I remember Tyrone Davis said the word dozen.
That's what I thought.
More than, yeah.
So I was thinking less than 24. It would be, kind of.
Teens.
Yeah, teens maybe. Here's my next question for you guys, and this is my question of the day, and I think this is a good one for the audience because I'm seeing calls now for Chief Sean Barnes firing. And there's been a lot of the story has turned into, sadly, I wrote a piece about this. You guys check it out on mynorthwest.com. But the story has turned into not the investigation into who's guilty of these horrible killings, even less so about the victims. And now it's about the response from the void of leadership in Katie Wilson's office and at the top of the ticket with the Seattle Police Department. Literally, Sean Barnes is not in town when it happens, which draws into question, where was he? He had a pretty good response to this one, but it drew a larger question in how often is he out of town because his family doesn't live here, which I think surprised a lot of people. If you're being drawn between two places and you're often not in town and your job is to protect a city that has had recently some dangerous times, you're not always going to be available for just such an event. So now I'm seeing calls for Katie Wilson to fire Sean Barnes. And my question of the day is, should Katie Wilson fire Sean Barnes? And my response to that would be, my number one caution is you have to look at the unintended consequences of that.
Right.
The person responsible for replacing Sean Barnes, unfortunately, is also the person who would fire him, which would be Katie Wilson. It would be her job to appoint his successor. Seattle City Council would then agree to that or not.
Well, my concern is the more information that's coming out today, and you're right, that's become the bigger story almost, and I'm not trying to downplay the tragedy of Sunday's loss of life.
Yeah.
But it's coming out now that maybe the failure to notify the community wasn't the call of the police, the law enforcement community.
Or when
Chief
the press
Barnes,
conference was.
Or when the press conference was, or alerting people of potential danger to the community. There's stories that maybe that came from the mayor's office.
Every source I've heard says that the police department was ready to go.
And so then if the mayor is handcuffing the police department's ability to do their job, you don't then fire the police department for not doing their job.
Unless you're looking for a scapegoat.
Well, to your point, though, the consequences of that action.
Here's the other crazy thing about this. We don't even have time to get into this right now. Can we come back to this?
Yeah, we got a lot of show left.
I'm going to read you a statement when we get back. And when you think about this person's job being to replace Chief Barnes if she fires him, and this is a statement allegedly from Katie Wilson prior to her becoming mayor, it wouldn't make any sense that her job would be to replace the chief of police. Anyway, Luke Ducey, thank you for coming in. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
you guys stick around. We're gonna get into this next. It's a good topic. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Sunset Auto Family.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we are meant to live free. Free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if the natural effects of aging are slowing you down, it might be time to declare your independence from aging. John Curley here. Longevity Medical Clinic has been treating the undesirable effects of aging for nearly 30 years. They have more clinical experience with actual patient care than any longevity practice in the country. I've been a patient for 17 years. Wow, time flies when you got a lot of energy. I don't know where I'd be today without longevity. Longevity Medical Clinic was started so people can get back to living life on their own terms, walking, working, exercising, and enjoying the moments that matter most. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own freedom. Get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
At Seattle Children's Hospital, 1 in 3 patient families can't afford the food their kids need to heal. A child recovering from surgery and the family struggling to put nutritious food on the table. That's why Seattle Children's, Safeway, and Seahawk, Jackson Smith and Jigba launched the Food First Project to fight pediatric food insecurity by providing grocery cards, produce vouchers, and food as medicine programs for families. No barriers, just help. 12s, we need you. Learn more at Safeway.com. Again, that's Safeway.com.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185. AdvancedHair.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Golden Crest Metals helps investors understand how physical gold and silver can be held inside qualified retirement accounts without pressure or confusion. Our team brings decades of experience in precious metals and retirement planning with a focus on clear education, straightforward pricing, and a process designed to put clients first. Why do investors choose Golden Crest Metals? Experience, transparency, and a client-first approach. Tune into The Gold Show with Kenny Michaels every Saturday at 1 p.m.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. With U.S. measles cases hitting levels not seen since 1991, a Seattle lab is racing to keep up. UW Medicine recently rolled out a new testing equipment that can process patient samples sent in from all over the country. Infectious disease doctor Alex Greninger.
So the time we receive the sample to when we can result it, probably about 4 hours, 3.5 hours, which is very quick.
He says that faster turnaround is critical with a disease as contagious as measles, and the same technology lets the lab scale up from one test to hundreds. A new Redfin report finds fewer Canadians are looking south of the border for a new home. The Seattle-based firm reports Canada-based searches for U.S. homes fell more than 15% in June compared to a year ago and are down about 37% over the last 2 years. Redfin says economic uncertainty, inflation concerns, and questions about trade are the big factors. In Seattle, Canadian home searchers were down nearly 16% from a year ago. Controversy at last night's Seattle Storm game where fans rallied for Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham, who recently spoke out against transgender athletes and girls and women's sports. Some fans booed Cunningham while a Storm player wore a trans rights or human rights shirt. Storm head coach Sonia Rahman.
I know our organization was, working closely with Climate Pledge and with security to just make sure that, everybody feels safe and included and welcome when they walk in this door. And from what I understand, that was successful.
But the controversy grew after reports that a Storm co-owner confronted two teen girls in pro-Cunningham shirts and that pro-Cunningham signs were removed. The Storm have not addressed those claims, though we have reached out for comment. A massive win for the Mariners last night as they take down the LA Dodgers 7-6. It was a home run derby in Los Angeles with Dominic Canzone, Julio Rodriguez, Cal Raleigh, and Rob Refsnyder hitting the ball out of the park.
The 3-2 swung on, cranked, left field, down the line, stay fair, off the foul pole, gone! Sail away, Rob Refsnyder. Welcome back. A 2-run home run, and the Mariners have the lead. It's 4-2.
Seattle takes game one of the 3-game series. The teams meet again tonight at 7:10. And as always, you can catch a game on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports. A check on Wall Street. Stocks are deep in the red this afternoon. The Dow down 950. S&P 500 down 60. The NASDAQ down 165. Your KIRO News Radio traffic brought to you by your Seattle Mariners. South 5 into Seattle. We're slow from Northgate in the downtown. Plan on 25 minutes coming in from Linwood. North 5 packed at the north end of Boeing Field in the downtown. Another brief backup at 520 to the Ship Canal Bridge. Taking you 25 minutes to get through all this. South 405 scattered backups between Factoria and Renton. North 405 remains thick through the Renton S-curves. And if you're heading over Tiger Mountain eastbound on 18, it's heavy from the summit over to the Raging River. About a 3 to 4 mile backup there. Don't miss the biggest event of the year at T-Mobile Park, 50 Seasons Celebration Night on August 8th, presented by Daktronics. Get your tickets at mariners.com. Mostly sunny, 76 today. Morning clouds, otherwise mostly sunny through Friday, 78 tomorrow, 81 on Friday. Mostly sunny and 70 right now, downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. This is going to be a good topic, and there's going to be a lot of people weighing in. There already are a lot of people weighing in on this. Our question of the day, should Mayor Katie Wilson of Seattle fire Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes? You can hit us up at the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476. I saw this article. This was from Jason Rantz over at SeattleRed.com. Jason obviously is a great friend of the show. He comes on here a lot. He's making the point in his article because he calls for Mayor Katie Wilson to fire Sean Barnes based on his interaction with that reporter from the Seattle Emerald?
South Seattle Emerald.
South Seattle Emerald. Okay. He was asked, I'm going to play you the cut in question, and then we're going to get into the question about whether or not Katie Wilson should fire him. I'm going to give you my opinion. We'll get back to your opinions at 1:30. Spike, I want your opinion, but the audience, we're going to get back to those at 1:30 for question of the day. But this was the interaction between Sean Barnes and reporter Connor Nash. Nash was asking him to clarify why he was out of town when the By the Seattle shooting happened and how often he's out of town, because there is a question about how often he's out of town. His family lives in Chicago. He's from Chicago. He rents an apartment here, and I think a lot of people were surprised by the fact that he's kind of in two cities a lot. But this was the confrontation that ended up making a lot of news.
I have been here working as hard as I can for this city from the day I got here. You got that?
There are reports that you are not in town often.
Their reports are wrong. Do you understand? Let's go, man. Let's go. You understand?
So when
Let's go. Thank you.
All right, so Barnes is kind of helped out of the room, I would say, by his staff.
Someone had to step in between the chief and a reporter.
Yeah, it's getting a little spicy.
It's getting passionate, to quote Chief Barnes. I mean,
Very
you got
passionate,
that, right?
Yeah, he was asked about it the following day at a press conference, and here's what he had to say about it.
Yesterday, that heated exchange following the press conference. What was that all about?
Yeah, I wouldn't describe it as a heated exchange, but that's okay. Listen, I respect our media. I respect what you do. I consider you a big part of the community. I wish I could do it, but I don't have a face for television. But let me say this. I'm always passionate about what I do as a police officer. I'm always passionate about what I do as a community member, and sometimes that passion is in full display, especially if someone is questioning my work ethic or my integrity. But I understand that your job is to ask tough questions, and so I respect that. I want you to know that, and that's for everyone in here. You have a tough job, and I do understand that. You know, having a 2-year-old shot should evoke strong emotions in people. And
do you want to just squash the discourse about, you not being in town enough?
Yeah, part of being a leader is being here, being visible, and being present. Part of being a leader in a major city is that sometimes I have obligations, and I wanted to be at the conference to support one of our community members who was getting an award, and one of our community service officers that was also getting an award from the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. Thank you.
How often do you travel to Chicago? Your wife and kids still live there. I'd like to know how often on weekends you travel there, and who's paying for that?
Certainly, I don't travel as often as I would like to. I think any reports that I'm gone every weekend are grossly misstated. I don't have that kind of money. I'm here in Seattle. I love the neighborhood that I live in. I love my community. They love me. They know me. They see me all the time. Don't love the rent that I'm paying, but affordability is something that we're working on. Is that right, Mayor? So I feel good about being here in Seattle. I love this community. Thank you.
All right, so there's a whole bunch of side comments that I could make about him turning that into affordability. That's obviously he's trying to distract from the real question that people have about how often he's in Chicago.
Which he didn't answer.
You're totally right, which he does not answer.
So we know it's not every weekend. Okay, that's a nice
is it
politically structured
we don't
question.
know. I think that's a question that should be answered.
I think he did answer, though. I think he gave you a clear answer that
it's not every weekend
that he does travel.
He does travel, yeah.
So
that he does travel to Chicago.
He was asked how often he's out of town and who's paying for it. He did address who's paying for it. He said, I don't have the kind of money to travel every weekend. That's me. But that's him saying the city's not paying for it. It's not on your dime.
Is that something he was ready to, from a PR perspective, is that something he was ready to answer just like that?
Yeah, that was a canned response that was pre-prepared. You have to think about that because the answer wouldn't be – because otherwise, if you weren't prepared for that, I think from a PR perspective, you would – answer the question directly.
You might divulge it actually.
He pivoted away from it
17 times a year.
Without saying anything. Right. Or not off as I'd like to. Or I love my family.
I don't have money like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. The answer was I don't travel as much as I'd like.
As I'd like. I don't have that.
So that's
kind
an
of
affirmative.
money.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do travel to Chicago. I just not as much
Well,
as I like. And
as
he
a-
didn't, and without saying how often.
But as a city, aren't we entitled to know how often the
course.
mayor is out of town? Or
Of course.
I did it. There's one.
There's one.
The chief
Have a
is
drink,
out of
everyone.
town. Everybody
Drink.
Prost. So I think it's a reasonable expectation for the chief of police to be present. Everyone gets time off, and I understand that.
For sure.
But if you're going to be gone multiple times a month to have family time in another city, okay, then that's something we have to talk about and see if that's worthwhile to have. Is this the right guy for the job? If that's the dynamic of the way you hold this position.
The other thing is, like, yes, it's a good job, and yes, it pays a ton of money. I get all that. However, if he's going to be I wonder if part of the interview process, he was confirmed 9-0, by the way, by the Seattle City Council, said, yeah, this is going to be the best guy for the job. I wonder if during the interview process, they understood that his family was not joining him for this job. And I wonder if they understood that he was going to be traveling a great deal to be back with his family. Now, the job pays somewhere around, I think, $360,000 a year. I think there's also a $50,000 signing bonus. There's also some questions about whether or not he collected, and I believe he did, some of the hiring bonuses for people when you recommend people for certain jobs.
Yeah.
Now, when your job is also to hire those people, I think that's a problem and a conflict of interest.
Decision maker.
Yes.
About who gets hired.
So clearly, it's a good financial position for him.
Yeah.
So for him to be complaining about, I don't make that kind of money and rent's expensive, blah, 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 that was a bad PR move. But let me move to my larger point about the question about whether or not Katie Wilson should fire him. I would say no. She should not fire this guy. And the reason I don't think she should fire him is because she would have the opportunity to replace him. And I found this was really interesting. During the mayoral race with Bruce Harrell, when he was fighting to keep his job, they did some digging into Katie Wilson's past. And you guys might be surprised to know, or not surprised to know, that Katie Wilson has not been a fan of police in her past. In fact, it was only during her run-up to become mayor that she finally said, hey, you know what? My thoughts on abolishing police, I don't believe those things anymore, even though those were just a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now I understand the value of police. The idea that she would then be in charge of hiring the next chief of police. Here's what Harrell's campaign found. A 2020 ProPublica blog post listing Katie Wilson's statement. We want to move towards a future entirely without SPD. I mean, right there, that's a very confusing thing when you're talking about somebody whose job it would be to then replace the head of the SPD. She also was a defund the police person. They asked her about that in one of the conferences she had with like a local online guy. She and Bruce Harrell, he said, are you for defund the police? She said, I used to be. I'm not anymore,
right.
But I used to be. So who would she replace Barnes with? That's my question. I think that's
this guy was the result
too much of a red
flag. This guy was the result
question.
of a nationwide search. He was approved 9-0 by the city council. If there are problems with how he's doing the job, that should be addressed. And maybe even some changes made to how often the chief is able to not be in town.
Kind of draw back on that travel budget.
If you've got a commitment to go represent your city in a different city, that's your weekend away. You don't get to go to Chicago as well this month.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be a cap on this.
You run the risk of having a mass shooting or something like that if you choose to do that. I mean, I don't know what the answer is either way, but you run a risk if you go out of town.
I think most people would assume that if you're being hired for the job of protecting a city like Seattle, you plan on living here and being here most of the time. Like if you took a job, Spike.
I don't think it's an unrealistic expectation.
If you even took just a radio job if you were going to.
There was a time in my career where I was offered a job in different cities other than Seattle, and I wouldn't relocate my family.
Because you knew you'd be pulled between two places.
Right, and I wouldn't relocate my family, and I wouldn't take a job that I'd be away from them. And that's just to make yucks on the radio.
Yeah.
Let alone keep a city safe.
100%. All right, Luke Ducey, thanks for sticking around, joining us. We appreciate it. Get your opinions in. I'd love your opinions on this. Should Mayor Katie Wilson fire Sean Barnes? 888-973-5476. We will get back to those at 1:30. Oh, my goodness, we got so much more to cover.
Coming up next, why we should cut down every tree. I'll tell you why. Every tree must go.
I'm intrigued.
I'll tell you why.
All right. Stick around.
I heard a lot of gunfire.
It really sounded like a firework at first.
A community searching for answers.
Breaking news, a mass shooting at Seattle Center.
500 plus people just like stampeding our way.
It was horrible. The kids right there screaming, trying to get their dad.
The station you trust when it matters most.
Detectives are working to track down everyone involved.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM and mynorthwest.com.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. We all know that the oil market is volatile. Nobody knows what an oil change is going to cost next year, let alone 5 or 10 years from now. But with Sunset's oil changes for life, it doesn't matter. Do the math with me. Let's say you need 5 oil changes a year. Average cost right now, it's about $150 each, closer to $200 if you're driving a diesel. That's somewhere between $750 to $1,000 a year. Over 10 years, you're talking about $7,500, maybe $10,000 in savings, and that's before prices go up. I'd rather spend that money on my family, not my vehicle. Every dealer pays basically the same price for their inventory. Nobody's handing out a $10,000 discount at signing, but Sunset is, through oil changes for life. They even have a customer with a 1985 Chevy who has now received more in free oil changes than he originally paid for the truck. That's how long Sunset's been doing this. You just get more at Sunset, and people do like that.
This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our summertime savings event means 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months, backed by our unbeatable warranties. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
It's Jonathan here from DUI Heroes, and I'm here today with a teenager who's just about to get her driver's license, and she's got some questions for me about driving, alcohol, and how to not end up in my office.
I got invited to a high school party this weekend. What should I do if there's drinking there?
First of all, don't engage in that conduct. It's illegal for you to do it. You're underage and you could get in trouble. Even if you're not behind the wheel, if for some reason the police get called out to that party because of a noise complaint, every teenager at that party is going to find themselves arrested and charged with something called minor in possession of alcohol, which is a gross misdemeanor. It means it could put you in jail for up to a year. So just don't engage. If you do, please don't get behind the wheel. Do the right thing. Call a parent, call a rideshare, just be safe. That was a great question. And if you or any of your friends find yourselves this summer in contact with law enforcement, please give us a call at 1-800-DUI-HERO or online at DUIHeroes.com.
Did you know that 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state? I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide financial support for breast and gynecologic cancer patients in our community. Join us at Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel in Woodinville for an unforgettable afternoon of inspiration. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd at nwhopeandhealing.org. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
KIRO News Radio is giving you a shot at 4 tickets to see the Seahawks in their preseason home opener, Saturday, August 15th.
To enter, open the KIRO News Radio app or visit mynorthwest.com/win for details.
You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances.
Enter daily from July 28th through August 3rd.
Full details and rules at mynorthwest.com/win.
That's mynorthwest.com/win.
All right, welcome back to the show.
I know that was a bold. I know that was a bold statement.
Yeah, this is a bold one.
But
this is a bold one. Spike wants to cut down all the trees in the state. Why?
Well, because yesterday, a parachutist. I guess that's the right
skydiver.
A skydiver found himself lodged 150 feet above the ground in Snohomish County.
What?
He was caught in a tree.
This is out near Woodinville.
Out near Woodinville, Woodinville area. Yeah, Snohomish Fire and Regional Fire and Rescue were called.
Yeah.
To extract this skydiver.
Doesn't he understand you're supposed to land on the ground?
He could have. You know why he didn't?
Why?
Trees. As I look out, I see nothing but everywhere I look, trees.
Horrible.
In the way.
Horrible.
Dangerous trees. They fall on houses. They take down power lines. Next time you're out of power in a cold winter storm, you know why?
A parachuter?
Trees.
Oh, okay. Because a parachuter came down on my power line.
Sorry.
You tell me. No, you're right. Let's go with this. You tell me one good thing that a tree has ever done for you.
Ever. Take a deep breath and tell me what good a tree has done you in your life.
Good job, Snohomish Regional Fire and Rescue, by the way, for getting this guy.
Here.
This is pretty cool. Would you ever skydive? Is that ever thing
you know what?
Be interested in?
No. Let me say it again. No. You ever do one of those bucket list things on social media? Check off at one point for all the things you've done, right? Ridden a limousine, been on television, taken a cruise, all these things. The only one I never have to get to check. I've gotten 29 out of 30 on these things.
Really?
Yes.
You've lived quite a life.
I've had an incredibly blessed life. Would you jump out of a perfectly good airplane?
No. Heck no.
That's one I'm never. That's not on my bucket list. That's not my carry me home in a bucket list.
It's not a desire I have. I understand that there are people out there who get a rush doing it. I watched a video once of, you know who Travis Pastrana is?
No.
He's like the motorcycle guy. He does like the
Red Bull, those kind of guys. Extreme.
He's one of those kind of guys. Yeah.
Okay.
Nitro Circus.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's his name, Travis Pastrana. He has a video where he's clearly an adrenaline like freak of nature, and he does amazing things. But in one of these videos that he puts out, he wakes up on a plane, and he's just like, in like swim shorts or something. Wakes up in a plane. That's all he's wearing is swim shorts, and he's kind of staggers to, and then he just steps off the plane with no parachute.
What?
Yes, and then his buddies.
Was this played at his memorial?
This was, and then his buddies who are surrounding him, they jump out after him.
With his parachute?
He free falls for like a minute or two.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Or however long the free fall is. And they give him a parachute and they get it and they hook him up and he's able to do it. But for a while there's not a guarantee that he's going to get a parachute.
Right. He slows his fall with friction. They descend quickly. Like I've seen Point Break. I know how this works.
Yes. And they catch up to him and they do what they need to do. And he's still with us because he did a backflip on the White House lawn for a recent thing.
Yeah.
But my point is, there are people who think that it's fun to jump out of a plane, and I watch them. I'm in Snohomish. Yeah. I'm in Snohomish Valley all the time, looking up at the skydivers. Every time I see somebody jump out, I go, "Oh, look at that skydivers! That looks so
There's a Capalson
scary."
out there, right? Capalson's down by Issaquah. They've got there's a bluff that they jump off of. You see them in the evening. It's beautiful.
Now that's a different thing. I don't know why, but like in
Base
my
jumping.
head, my head, there's a different thing. With what's the one with the big fan on the back of your
parasailing?
Parasailing. Is it paragliding? Parasailing?
Oh, paragliding, where they have a fan and they literally ride like a wing.
Yeah,
that one.
You catch a thermal current. With a big thing.
Yeah.
And you jump off, and it's in Tiger Mountain Road area.
They don't use the words diving.
No.
Or falling.
And you start.
The description.
That activity starts on the ground.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you have a giant thing above you, and you have some means of steering yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sure that ends up often in dangerous crashes.
There have been, of course, any recreational thrill-seeking has danger.
That would also be helped by your effort to cut down all the trees in the state.
Sure. Ready for a smooth landing? Hold on. Let's go, man.
What a scary thing. No, thank you.
I don't see it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I bungee jumped. I told you we I know the
bungee jumping is the same thing to me. Same
not
categories.
The way I did it. I risked my life bungee jumping. Risk my life.
I wouldn't do it.
Most dangerous thing I've ever done in my life was bungee jumping because I was strapped to a Hooters girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
You were in danger when you landed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as soon as I got home.
Did your wife know you were doing that?
Not until after the fact.
Good for you.
Yeah, no.
Soft landing?
I'd rather be hanging 150 feet up in a tree.
Just leave me up here.
I'm lucky. Oh, never mind.
I'm fine. Yeah, I was going to say, I could see where you're going. All right.
Yeah, again, thanks again to the Snohomish Woodinville Fire and Rescue.
Yeah, Snohomish Regional Fire and Rescue Technical Rescue Team.
Guys.
Well done. Good job. And Spike's obviously joking. He doesn't want them to cut down all the trees. Some trees, probably, but not all. All right, we got the 1 o'clock rundown coming up next. We got a lot of great stories. We got some Fauci stuff. We got some controversy at a Storm game last night, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Lots of other stuff. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
From the people who brought you It's the Dog Park comes.
It's a hot spot on your dog's leg that the internet says you can treat it at home. You're not sure though, because now it's oozing.
Protect your dog from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance.
Ooh, he's licking it. Super gross, dude.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It's the best time of the year at Staples, with back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech and more at staples.com/back-to-school.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Renewed hostilities between the U.S. and Iran creating more economic uncertainty. The Federal Reserve Board wrapping up its two-day policy meeting and leaving interest rates unchanged for now. New Fed Reserve Chair Kevin Warsh says the U.S. economy is showing resilience, but they're also watching many factors.
The policy statement conveys just the facts. It's steering clear of forecasting, a choice we consider especially prudent at these uncertain times. Uncertainty, however, does not mean a lack of clarity.
Tense moments on Capitol Hill today. Dr. Anthony Fauci appearing before a Senate hearing on the COVID response. He invoked his Fifth Amendment rights and declined to answer questions. Fauci headed the White House coronavirus task force for both the Trump and Biden administrations. He received a preemptive pardon from Biden. The winning ticket in last night's Mega Millions drawing was sold at a Wawa in Bradenton, Florida. The jackpot, $800 million. This is ABC News. In Massachusetts, the trial of Lindsay Clancy resumed today. She's accused of killing her three young children. Her attorneys say Clancy suffered from postpartum psychosis in 2023 and did not receive adequate care for her mental health. ABC News legal analyst Brian Buckmeyer says Clancy broke down in court as the 911 calls from that incident were being played.
This is a case where she is claiming, like other states claim, insanity. Here they call it a lack of criminal intent. So if the idea is she did not understand what she was doing at the time, and now the presumption is that she's properly medicated and understands what's going around her, she is realizing and seeing once again how tragic her actions led to the death of her own children. So crying would make sense, but that's if you believe her. If you don't, I can see a jury looking at her and saying, you're faking this. You know what you did, and you're trying to gain sympathy from us.
Schools are now turning to drones to help combat active shooters. Their aircraft is called Campus Guardian Angel. At least 9 schools in Florida, Georgia, and Colorado are now being equipped with those drones. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
A vigil is being held tonight in Seattle for the shooting victims at the Bite of Seattle Sunday. Details coming up. First, let's check out your traffic, brought to you by your KIRO Newsradio App. South 5 slows from Northgate in the downtown to be expected. 25 minutes from Linwood. North 5 is thick at Albro Place in the downtown. You'll catch a little break. Another backup as you approach the Ship Canal Bridge. About 25 minutes to get through all this. South 405 still seeing scattered backups between Factoria and Renton. North 405 has thinned out, but you're still crowded through the Renton S-curves. And if you're heading into Federal Way, northbound I-5, you're crowded from the Fife curve up to State Route 18. Text APP to 888-973-5476 and download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. The King County Council just passed new ethics reforms after a county staff member was accused of doling out more than $800,000 in grant money to her relatives. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
The Seattle Times says they uncovered the program manager paid $813,000 to companies owned by her family members and that the woman pressured 3 different subcontractors to hire her daughter. Councilmember Reagan Dunn, who called for an audit back in 2023, introduced the new legislation that passed unanimously.
Obviously, you shouldn't be doling out public dollars to members of your family. It just doesn't pass the laugh test, and it isn't appropriate. It might be illegal.
The new law clarifies conflict of interest rules and forces any conflict to be resolved, not just disclosed. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle is coming together to remember the victims of Sunday's deadly shooting at the Bite of Seattle. A community vigil set for tonight at the International Fountain at Seattle Center. City leaders, including Mayor Katie Wilson and Police Chief Sean Barnes, are hosting the vigil. 3 people killed and at least 4 others were wounded Sunday. The vigil begins at 6:30. A federal judge has temporarily blocked the U.S. Department of Education from ending school-based mental health grants in Washington and 14 other states. KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gashard reports.
Attorney General Nick Brown led the legal challenge, arguing the cuts were unlawful. The grants provide counseling and behavioral health services in public schools, which were set to end July 31st. Brown's office says losing the grants would have cost students nearly $20 million in mental health support. The temporary restraining order remains in effect through August 24th, while the court considers longer-term protections. Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Well, Seattle's new favorite celebrity, Jimothy, is headed to the big leagues, sort of. The Mariners are celebrating the viral Ballard raccoon with Jimothy Night at T-Mobile Park on August 5th. Fans who buy a special ticket package will score a Jimothy t-shirt, and the first 20,000 fans to the gates will get a collectible rookie card. Jimothy first stole hearts online with his unique look, likely caused by a rare spinal condition. Let's check out that forecast. Mostly sunny and 76 this afternoon. Morning clouds turning mostly sunny through Friday, and we'll be in the low 80s by Friday. The weekend will be mostly sunny with a passing shower here and there and highs in the low 70s. Mostly sunny and 70 right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 1 hour down, 2 hours to go. A lot of great stuff to get to. We're going to get to the 1 o'clock rundown in just a second. But, Spike, you just grimaced hardcore during the news break. What happened?
Nate, when's Jimothy Night again? I apologize to the Mariners. August 5th?
August 5th.
August 5th. Well, because the Mariners decided not to go. I had a great idea for the Mariners. You know, Mariners are all about promotional opportunities, about the experience of the ball game. It's all about the fan experience.
Sure.
And you know how well received the ferry boat was at the concession stands.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
They said, we're doing Jimothy Night at the ballpark. I'm like, great. Serve all the concessions in little plastic trash cans in honor of Jimothy.
That's
right?
genius.
They thought better of. They didn't go with it. I'm bummed.
Like a tiny little like an old-fashioned looking metal trash can.
Right. I get okay, not a dumpster. That's gauche.
Well, where I thought you were going to go. I thought you were going to say they should make tiny little Jimothys with like his back hollowed out so people can. Like the ferry boat. Like,
right, no, I get you.
Obviously, like ferry boats don't have a giant hole in the middle where you put food, but they have somehow come up with that version.
No, I
thought you were making a suggestion that they should do a Jimothy version of that.
No, I was just thinking, just to honor raccoons, trash pandas.
Oh, the trash idea would have been so great. With like a little picture of Jimothy's face.
Yes.
On the side.
I'm getting that for the studio, by the way.
There you go.
Yeah. Friend of mine's in the street sign business.
And he knows how to make them. That's a good one.
They got a custom sign shop.
What does it say? Tell the audience what it says.
It's a Jimothy crossing. It's an official road safety sign with a beautiful rendition of Jimothy. A photo, not some horrible caricature.
No, that looks like
drawn.
that's the real
Jimothy.
deal.
Yeah, Jimothy crossing sign.
Well, I look forward to it. I look forward to it arriving.
I've wasted enough of our time. I apologize.
It's time for the 1 o'clock rundown. Top stories coast to coast. One of the stories is on this coast, and we'll get to it in just a couple minutes. This has to do with the Seattle Storm, who are making a lot of news because there was apparently an incident last night, and it's got a lot of headlines. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. All right, let's first start with Anthony Fauci, former NIAID. Is that right? NIAID, National Institute. EIEI. It's a lot of letters.
Infectious Disease Director of National Institution of Infectious Diseases.
Yeah, NIAID. Anyway, when you say Dr. Fauci, people know who you're talking about.
Of course. Oh, he was a mega star.
He was a mainstay on all of the nightly talk shows. He was. He was who we turned to in one of our nation's most troubling moments.
There was not
a news station during that time. There's not a major news station that you could turn to on any given day and not find at least an interview with him once.
I got a buddy of mine who does radio work, does nationally syndicated radio work.
Yeah.
Does impressions. He's a phenomenal impressionist. When he was doing Dr. Fauci.
Was he getting good?
He was on 40, 50 shows a week.
Shot.
I'm telling you. He would do comedic Dr. Fauci. I can't do it.
Tell people, do you do a Fauci impression at all?
I don't. If I listen to it for a couple minutes, I could probably do it.
Probably get him.
You just got to work on it a little bit. I could probably get you good. But this guy did a spot on Fauci.
Okay.
Doing comedic interviews from a humorous perspective.
Mike, can you find, while we're talking here, can you just find a Fauci?
We have clips of him, right?
Well, but he's not saying much.
What
you want some vintage Fauci? Like, first
you
get the first shot, then you're kind of protected. Then you get the booster, then you're more protected.
Listen, this guy's pretty good.
That's pretty good. People think he's joking, but that's kind of what he is. Yeah, he sounds like, hey, Rock. That's what he sounds like.
Greasy chicken fast.
Get the one where he's telling people to wear 3 masks or whatever that one was. Sure. All right. So Fauci was on Capitol Hill today.
Yes.
And what's happening here, Spike? Because you probably know a ton about this.
A congressional hearing for the origins of the COVID vaccine has been convened by the House of Representatives, and Dr. Fauci was called to testify in a Senate hearing today to place his hand on the Bible and promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Or keep his mouth shut, or not say anything, and plead the fifth.
Well, what he ended up doing was pleading the fifth over 100 times.
Yeah.
And this was a congressional hearing which was very divided along party lines.
Yeah. And this is the nature of these things
it
as
really
well.
Is.
I mean, you go to
whether
it's
Todd Blanche or it's
it doesn't matter.
Clayton,
they're always out to get their moments.
Yeah, they're all looking for their sound bites. And Rand Paul has had it in for Dr. Fauci for a long time. Has called for him to be jailed publicly numerous times, and he was the lead inquisitor, if I may, with today's congressional hearing.
Is this first clip? Who is this, Mike, in this first clip? Is this just Fauci?
This is just Fauci himself indicating what he's going to do on advice of counsel.
Okay.
And then we'll get to the Josh Hawley after.
All right, let's hear this. I was looking for a Rand Paul. I apologize, Mike.
I
didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for it, Mike.
Right.
All right, so this is Fauci kind of teeing up that he's not going to say anything.
It pains me to do so.
Actually, this is a pretty good way to get an impression. Yeah. By the end of the segment, I want you to have perfected this, Spike.
Although it pains me to do so, because of the respect I have for the legislative branch of government and my decades-long record of cooperating with Congress, under the advice of my attorneys, I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions. Thank you.
Okay, so he basically says at the start of this whole thing, I'm not going to answer any of your questions. And as you said, as these things often turn into, you're trying to get a moment that ends up going viral. And so Josh Hawley, is he Missouri?
Hawley's Missouri, yeah.
Okay. He had a chance to ask Fauci some questions, and it sounded like this.
What day of the week is it today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color tie are you wearing?
Come on, that's kind of funny.
It's
kind of funny.
It's funny, but it's come on.
Come on.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color is the carpet in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
All right.
I don't know who looks stupider there.
Well, the guy
Fauci
who's not saying the color of things is interesting.
Well, but
I find it
what
interesting.
What day is it? Okay, that's hilarious. I get it, but it's a waste of everybody's time.
Why was he pleading the Fifth?
From what I understand, and his attorney was actually taken out of the hearing. His attorney was sitting next to him at the hearing.
Yeah.
And his attorney was advising him, and his attorney was trying to explain why Dr. Fauci felt he had the liberty, the right to plead the Fifth Amendment.
Everybody has a right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, he was trying to tell Rand Paul why his client had the right to plead the Fifth, and they had the attorney removed from the hearing because Rand Paul was correct in procedural guidelines, the rules of this procedure.
He wasn't recognized as a speaker, and he kept speaking.
Yeah.
He didn't even have a mic in front of him. He kept talking. It kind of made that was a big viral moment because he goes, "Hey, and he gave him a warning. He said, "Hey, we're giving you a warning. You're not allowed to talk." And the guy just kept yapping.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't shut up. Fauci wouldn't say anything, but his lawyer kept talking. He removed him, and then so he went out. But he still had like 6 other attorneys with him, so it's not like he wasn't represented.
And why is Fauci pleading the Fifth? Because he feels like if he gives testimony, that he may contradict something he had said prior in previous recorded official statements.
But he has immunity.
He does have immunity.
So why plead the Fifth?
He was given a blanket immunity on the way out of the door from President Biden.
From President Biden,
yeah,
predating all the way to 2014. So starting in 2014,
yeah.
So he's good to go. I don't understand why he wouldn't relish the opportunity to answer some questions. If you have immunity,
I'm with you. It's just a bad look.
It's just a bad
look.
look.
You got nothing. I mean, not to quote President Trump, but if you got nothing to hide, don't plead the Fifth Amendment.
That's
kind
of
what pleads the Fifth. Criminals plead the Fifth.
Like, why is he pardoned from 2014 on?
That's a great question.
Well, Jake, we're fans of the television show Survivor, right?
Yes.
And with immunity, I would imagine that Dr.
He's got
Fauci,
an immunity idol in his pocket,
and he's wearing it at tribal council.
Everyone knows he can use it.
Move.
He can do whatever he wants. I mean, I honestly do think there's a lot of questions about what he did in his time as he collected a great paycheck. He was the highest paid public employee in the United States.
Yeah, well, he had the most expertise in virology and epidemiology.
Well, I don't know if he had the most expertise or if he was just the highest ranking.
He was in the U.S. government, I'll say. And he worked for 6 different presidents over 3 different decades.
Yeah.
He was a trusted source to go to. As COVID hit, there were questions, and Fauci, his 1,100 pages of his personal diary were released by Rand Paul.
Yeah.
And they're.
Have you read some of those, by the way?
Some, yeah, and
they're kind of funny.
They're funny, but I looked at the highlights. I looked at the Fauci for Dummies. I didn't have time to read 1,100 pages of it.
I read every page.
Basically, he had musings, he had speculation in private that he didn't share in public.
Yeah,
and that's the point of contention that congressional Republicans are seeking. If you thought this, why didn't you alert the public of this?
Yes.
You had always stuck to the fact that this was a biologically originated disease or virus that started in a wet market in Hunan.
Just down the street from the Wuhan Institute of Virology where they were studying this exact thing. That's quite a coincidence.
And in his private diary, he had musings and speculation that maybe this was created from a lab. We know, blah, 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 blah. Why didn't you share that with the public?
He couldn't share that with the public because every time somebody shared those thoughts with the public, they were canceled. And he didn't want to cancel himself.
That's fair, and you're right. You're spot on.
I mean, I'm saying that facetiously because that's the problem with a guy like Fauci is that when people voice the exact things that he's talking about in his diary, they were essentially like kicked out of the building
because they were offering.
They were looked at as a threat to the public.
They could, if you're giving misinformation or just
asking questions, they were looked at as a threat to the public.
But when you're asking the public to buy into a policy that was designed, good or bad, right or wrong.
But that's the problem.
Was designed to help public safety and prevent death in a time when 1 million Americans were dying.
I understand.
So,
but the guy who ends up saying and doing all the TV interviews and doing the Colberts and doing every piece of media that he possibly could, and the guy who says I'm essentially science or whatever he said, I think that's where people are like, listen, I think maybe this wasn't the guy that everybody should have been treating as if he were a saint who had all the answers, which is kind of what was demanded at the time. I mean, when you look back at some of the like excessive ways that they basically ruined people's careers, who questioned some of the stuff that they were doing, I think we all look back on that time. I mean, you may not, but I look back on that time as like, man, I hope we don't go through something like that again. And what would be interesting, not just the pandemic part of it, but just
how information was weaponized.
Information was weaponized.
Yeah.
How people weren't even allowed to ask questions without you being questioned as an individual. And God forbid anything like that ever happens again. And we have another pandemic, that would be horrible. But I think it's very good to be able to look back on these things and have a discussion about it.
Yeah.
So that we can prevent, history so you don't repeat it. The problem that I'm worried about is if we go barreling into the next thing and we don't know what happened that was wrong because of all the COVID stuff, because everybody's, pleading the fifth and keeping their mouth shut and getting pardoned and getting immunities for things well before he was even president. He's pardoning people. Like, how does that work? I worry that we're going to repeat history and it's just going to end up being another bad situation.
Well, and if we had hearings that were fact-finding missions, not gotcha moments, when that goes both directions.
What else are you left with? If the guy's refusing to say anything, he's pleading the fifth, he tells you at the beginning, I'm not going to answer any of your questions. Well, then
I'm not going to tell you what color tie I have. It's regarding that. I might incriminate myself, or the carpet color, or what day it is.
Here's a true statement. I bet you Hawley wouldn't have asked him his color of tie if Fauci was having an open dialogue with people.
I guarantee he wouldn't. You're absolutely right.
I bet you he probably did have a question based on the science and the history of what happened during COVID and all the stuff surrounding, and maybe even some of the diary entries where he's...
why'd you keep those speculations to yourself?
Those would have been informative for the public. And
absolutely.
Fauci said, like, on advice of counsel, I'm pleading the fifth.
Telling you that I'm not allowed to tell you what I'm doing, what I'm thinking. I don't know what day it is.
He nailed it. By the end of the thing, he's got it's
See,
perfect.
we're getting better. I love it.
So that's my take from it. I wish he would have. He's got an immunity idol. He's got it in his pocket. He might as well use it.
Well, the congressional Republicans are promising consequences and repercussions for him refusing to answer questions. So
he should have answered some questions. That would have been nice.
Too.
All right, what happened with the storm last night? This is the other big story. We only have time to get to two of these. We'll do this. We'll do the throw in real fast. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. He's demanding that Mitch McConnell prove that he's fit for the office because
resign. Yeah, because it's now been since mid-June that Mitch McConnell has been in the hospital, and everybody respects the right to privacy. But
they were waiting for him to get out, and then I guess on Monday, hospital administrators said, like, hey, we're not quite ready for you to leave yet. So McConnell's team was like, hey, I haven't really got the clean bill of health yet, so I got to hang out for a little bit longer. And now Beshear's saying, like, hey, I need you to give me proof that you know.
Well, it's that August 3rd deadline of whether or not a special election can be held in Kentucky if McConnell is unfit to serve.
Yeah,
you get to August 4th because guess what, guys?
It's like that Plattner. It's like the main Plattner stuff.
Yes,
it's like we got a countdown clock.
And I guess the easiest thing is, like Beshear said, either go in front of a camera. Give us 10 seconds.
Dribble a basketball. Do something that shows. Speaking of basketball.
Nicely done.
Seattle Storm owner Celeste Keaton. I didn't know she's a minority owner of the team. She's not the main owner. She's like a minority owner of the team.
I believe that's correct. I'm not sure the ownership dynamic.
So there was 2 teen girls at the game last night. You have the Indiana Fever who were in town, who I guess beat the Storm. And
that wasn't news because everybody beats the Storm.
They're not doing great, right?
That's one of the worst teams in the WNBA.
Okay, so anyway, they're on a losing streak. Whatever, who cares? It'd be nice if they win, obviously, but they're losing. So the 2 girls are there holding signs in support of Sophie Cunningham, who is one of the stars on the Indiana Fever team, who also has recently made comments about protecting women's sports. Is that right?
That's exactly right.
So the girls are there holding signs, and one of the owners of the Storm made comments to or at the girls or in the vicinity of the girls, and one of the girls, and these girls are 16 years old, I believe?
They're teenagers.
Teenage girls.
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark.
So one of them ends up crying. They then are apparently, according to the reports, are getting kind of badgered by other people sitting around them. They're courtside. I don't know how they got the tickets, but whatever, they're courtside. They end up, other people are kind of badgering them, sitting around them. They were holding signs in support of Sophie Cunningham, and then they end up kind of hiding and putting those signs away. And then, do we have audio of this? Okay, here we go. Here's a little bit of that. This was Was this one of the girls, and this is after the game?
Yeah, that's correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. They were interviewed together.
And
so they kind of alternate back and forth in that first clip.
Brandy Cruz posted this, but do we know who did the interview?
Brandy.
Oh, Brandy did. Okay, here we go.
Well, we were just sitting there with our signs that said, like, we love Sophie, like, thank you, Sophie, for speaking up. And so we were holding on, just watching the game. Again, we were being super great. We hadn't said anything to anyone else. We were being super respectful. We were just holding our signs and cheering for both teams. And this lady, older lady, comes up to us. And she comes up to us, and at first I think she's going to be nice. And she asks, like, what are you guys doing? Or something like that. And then it was like, Jesus loves everyone. That's what she told us. And I was like, oh, I know. Like, I'm religious. Like, I know. Like, I know. Nice. Yeah. And she's like, oh, I hope Jesus can forgive you for what sin you've done. And, like, something like that. And then she told us that we were effing insane. And that we
and she's like, and she went like this.
Insane.
Yeah. She's like, you better stop this.
And
for you guys
I
to
hope
come
God
here
can
and
save
hold
you.
this.
Yeah.
So obviously, when you're a teenager, to have any run-in with anybody in any authoritative state is kind of can be an emotional experience if it feels like they're condemning whatever you're doing. The Storm have issued an apology just a little bit ago, basically saying like, hey, we don't want to be in the business of making remarks to two young fans. It's not a good look.
It's not.
And they're in the news now. What's your thoughts on this? They said we apologize that this happened. Everybody who attended a Storm game deserves to feel welcome, and we remain committed to creating an inclusive environment where every fan is treated with respect.
The Storm. Do we have the Storm coach in post-game interviews? Do we have that clip? No. I thought we'd have that clip, and I don't want to misquote or misrepresent, but the Seattle Storm coach was asked directly about this in the post-game interview and had some comments in the post-game interview that also were, ill-advised. I don't want to misquote.
The Storm coach?
The Storm coach was asked about this. Or it might have been, I apologize. Here's the issue. Sophie Cunningham came out and made a comment, and the WNBA is very much about inclusivity from top to bottom. Sophie Cunningham, who has said, look, I'm not political by nature. Mm-hmm. She spoke to the integrity of women's sports with regard to transgender athletes competing against biological females.
Yeah.
Which is, that's, she and I share that same perspective. The two young ladies at the Storm game last night with their sign, with their, thanks for speaking up for women, thanks for defending women in sport, all this, the sign they held.
Yeah.
And their T-shirts they wore were very much there are two gender T-shirts,
XXXY, yeah.
Yeah. You said you're not sure how they got courtside seats.
Sure.
I'd like to know that too, because I think these girls were used as they're entitled to their opinions, and their opinions should be respected.
And you
at
share
the
their
Storm
opinion.
Game. I share their opinions about interaction with girls in sport.
Yeah, which is what they were talking about.
I don't share their opinions about gender duality or there are two sexes. But I respect their ability to have these comments. But when these kids are courtside with a sign, they're there as props. They're there in the most inclusive environment in the city of Seattle,
except for them,
which is a Seattle Storm game. And I'm saying their rights should be respected.
Okay,
absolutely. No one should speak ill to them, curse at them, poke at them.
Yeah, especially for the owner of the team.
Someone spit at them. I heard. Someone said they were tripped as they were trying to leave.
Yeah, bad luck.
That's a terrible way.
It doesn't
speak to inclusivity at all.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like.
But it also seems like somebody put those kids there with that message to get some reaction, to get these kind of moments, to get the story more volume. I mean, courtside seats, the WNBA, it's a lot cheaper than the NBA.
That's almost $100.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
I'm kidding.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guarantee these kids were put there to deliver this message, to generate this controversy. That's just my speculation.
Although it's not a super controversial message, right? The message that they were supporting Sophie Cunningham?
No, not at all. But it also,
but the response to them was quite controversial.
It was, it was out of bounds, completely inappropriate.
All right, we got to run here. We got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. Buckle up. It's going to be a hot summer, and if you have poor or no insulation in your attic, you could be losing up to 40% of your energy efficiency in your home. Fortunately, Valentine Roofing has you covered. This summer, bundle energy-saving attic insulation with a new roof and save 10%. Plus, with no money down on your project, you don't pay until your project is complete. Call 206 Roofing to save 10% when you bundle a new roof and attic insulation. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Hey, it's Jason Rantz. If your air conditioner is barely hanging on, CM Heating has one of the best offers I've heard this summer. Right now, you can get any size high-efficiency AC system for just $179.99 a month with zero upfront cost. And here's the game changer. CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program includes lifetime repairs, annual maintenance, and even filters at no additional charge ever. Go to cmheating.com and schedule your free estimate online today.
License number CMHEAHL 751LW.
Did you know that 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state? I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide financial support for breast and gynecologic cancer patients in our community. Join us at Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel in Woodinville for an unforgettable afternoon of inspiration. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd at nwhopeandhealing.org. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
2 years ago, my office launched a major media campaign to identify a key witness to our client's bicycle accident, which we later settled for $10 million. Because when we accept a case, we don't rest until we do everything possible to improve our client's chance of recovery. We're one of only a few firms in the state with an in-house investigation team building our clients' cases. So when you hire Davis Law Group, you don't just get a dedicated and award-winning legal team. You get our commitment to better service and even better results. Request a free consultation today at 206-888-8888.
John Curley here. When the AC starts acting up, don't assume you need a whole new system. Home Comfort Alliance, their approach is simple. Repair first, replace only if needed. Their techs diagnose the real problem because a simple fix can often get the cooling back up again and not cost you a full replacement. Need something new? Ask about a heat pump for year-round comfort. That's what we did at the barn. Get real pricing in 60 seconds at homecomfortalliance.com. Call the comfort people. homecomfortalliance.com.
What would you do if the person you love needed round-the-clock care and you had no plan to pay for it?
I was very worried about running out of money.
When Mike's wife was diagnosed with dementia, he turned to LifePoint Law and Elder Law attorney Rajiv Nagayich.
And then he said, "You're going to be okay, but we have to get through these steps." Then I felt a whole lot better going into it. It was still a very difficult process, but in the end, I knew that there was someone there that if I needed help, understood what I'm going through.
LifePoint Law helped Mike protect his wife, his finances, and his future.
They laid it out really well up front. They give you a very in-depth plan. There are so many things that you don't know. I could never have done it on my own.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Federal Way August 1st, Puyallup on the 4th, Tacoma on the 6th, or Bellevue August 8th. Space is limited, so sign up today at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Facing criticism about his role leading the U.S. response during the COVID pandemic, Dr. Anthony Fauci today invoked the Fifth Amendment during his congressional testimony.
Given Senator Paul's obvious obsession,
Dr. Anthony Fauci said Committee Chair Rand Paul is bent on seeing him put behind bars, rather than answering questions about the origins of COVID and whether it might have stemmed from U.S.-backed research in China. Fauci declined.
Based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment,
Paul vowed repercussions.
It's against the law to obstruct an investigation of Congress.
When Fauci's attorney tried to speak,
"Sir, you are not recognized."
Paul ordered him removed.
Security.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
To the closing bell report, and a lot of factors, including interest rates, the Iran war, and rising oil prices, all led to a major sell-off on Wall Street today. Dow lost more than 2%, losing 1,153 points. S&P 500 down 112, NASDAQ lost 435, as the Federal Reserve today voted to keep interest rates where they are for now. Fed Chair Kevin Warsh noted inflation remains elevated.
So we'll be watching inflation data over the period ahead. But I also don't want you to leave the misimpression that we're sort of breathlessly waiting.
ABC's Elizabeth Schultz says it was a divided vote of 9-3 to leave interest rates unchanged.
3 Fed officials voted to increase interest rates. They dissented with this decision. They instead wanted to see rates go up. It is very unusual for us to see that kind of division in the Fed when you're thinking about an interest rate hike like this.
One of Seattle's top business leaders is joining the board of Lyft. Alaska Air CEO Ben Minicucci has been appointed to the rideshare company's board. Lyft says Minicucci's background in expanding airline networks and loyalty programs will help as the company pursues its next phase of growth. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 1:34. Here's Nate Connors.
Hey, thanks, Aaron. Really, our only concerns at the moment are through downtown Seattle, a little bit on the east side. Everywhere else, we're doing pretty good. So, South 5, you're crowded from Northgate into downtown. We're closing in on a half-hour drive now from Linwood, about a 7-minute delay. North 5, we've got a thick 4-mile backup starting at the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Again, between Mercer and the Ship Canal Bridge, all added up, 25 minutes to get you through this. Mid-Boeing Field, South 5, it actually starts to slow along the entire length of Boeing Field, starting at the north end due to a slow-moving maintenance vehicle in the left lane. Right now, that's about mid-Boeing Field, but it's making its way down toward Tukwila. South 405, scattered backups between South Bellevue and Renton. Nothing heavy, only 15 minutes from Bellevue to Renton. And North 405, you're slow from South Center through the Renton S-curves. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Mostly sunny skies the next few days with highs in the mid to upper 70s. Could see some low 80s by Friday. The weekend, though, slight cool down, chance for some clouds and light showers as well. Right now, though, beautiful 73 degrees and sunny in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. We had a really interesting question of the day. It was inspired by all of the controversy surrounding the various press conferences after that horrible, tragic Bite of Seattle event, that gang mass shooting on Sunday. You then had the mayor's office possibly slowing down the police, telling the public what was going on by up to 5 hours. The mayor's office denies that. That story's going to continue. You now have also people questioning whether or not SPD Chief Sean Barnes is in state enough because his family still lives in Chicago, which a lot of people found surprising and just realized because he was not in town.
The chief was in Dallas.
He was in Dallas
at the time, or returning from.
Here's what's interesting. I had heard, and we'll get to the question today in just a second, but I had heard because he wasn't in town. I remember watching the briefing that night and seeing it was Assistant Chief Tyrone Davis because Barnes was not in town. And I remember thinking to myself, like, oh, this is a big event to be gone for. It must be a vacation thing or something like that. And then the question was, well, was he back visiting his family in Chicago because his family doesn't live here? And when is he due back? Because I had heard originally that he was due back mid-August. So I was assuming this was some sort of a vacation or something like that.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
I hadn't heard that.
Okay. I think he even got asked about that.
Okay.
So then the conversation is like, well, no, he was in an event at Dallas, Fort Worth, or whatever the event was. But then people were still saying, well, okay, well, we'd still like some more clarity on how often you're out of town, which he didn't really do a good job of clearing up. He kind of like said in a press conference yesterday or the day before, he said, I'm not as gone as much as I want. And, statements about me being gone every weekend are grossly overrepresented.
Yeah,
or
it's
whatever.
not the case.
Not the case.
Yeah.
Which, again, is not an answer. But I'm seeing a lot of people now saying, and Jason Rantz wrote an article about this that we talked about earlier, calling for Mayor Katie Wilson to fire Barnes in the wake of a confrontational interaction that he had with a reporter trying to get to the bottom of this question, and where Barnes literally had to be ushered out of the room by his handlers. So we asked the audience, we said, should Katie Wilson fire Sean Barnes? You guys had a ton of responses to this. Spike, you want to lead us off?
Sure. Dina, I think it's Dina.
Dina
in Everett, no, Sean Barnes should not be fired.
Tamara in Tacoma, no, he needs to live here.
Yeah, 206, SPD has a chain of command when Barnes isn't available, and that is in place. I think the mayor's office is what screwed up. Get rid of Katie Wilson.
Here's a question for you. Do you think Katie Wilson will lean into the discussions about whether or not Barnes keeps his job as a way to obfuscate from her responsibility on the 5-hour delay?
It's hard to say. I think what we need to know, because there's conflicting reports on what the mayor said in the press conference yesterday, that she wasn't aware of her police department saying we're holding all information up for the arrival of dignitaries.
Yes.
And there's conflicting reports saying that the SPD was ready to go with an announcement, but were told to wait until they could be on site. Then the mayor said, well, it's because it wasn't safe at the center. We've had this conversation around, but I don't think it's grounds for firing. Fernando in Seattle says, no, not even SPOG, the Seattle Police Officers Guild, is asking for the chief to be fired.
One thing that I was pointing out earlier when we talked about this at 12:30 was the best case is that he keeps his job and Katie Wilson does not appoint a new successor, because it would be her who would appoint. Yeah. And she has a history of defund the police. At one point, as Mayor Harrell's, former Mayor Harrell's office pointed out during the election, they found an old statement of hers where she talked about envisioning a future without the SPD, which a lot of people would find very confusing to somebody whose job it is now to staff the SPD.
Yeah.
Mark in Port Townsend said Katie Wilson should not even be allowed to fire Chief Barnes. On the contrary, she should step down, and if she doesn't, she should be forced to do so through a vote of no confidence from the city council. Interesting.
206 says, hell no to firing Sean Barnes, but let's ask Katie to step down instead.
Kara, the cleaning lady, she absolutely should not. Whoever she hires will be worse. But his interaction between Barnes and the reporter was out of line, and it was intimidation no matter what he says. With that said, I do believe that there should be disciplinary action. Oh, that's an interesting idea. Like, kind of, that's a secondary option. Maybe not a firing, but a disciplinary. You're no longer allowed to travel to the extent that you were before.
That's fair, but you made a good point earlier. When he took this job, they were well aware that he had family in another city that wasn't going to relocate here.
Yeah.
If they had agreed to a certain amount of time not being in the city, maybe that needs to be revisited. But as far as disciplinary goes?
Here's the thing, though. It's like, that's a contract dispute now. I mean, then that's a litigious thing. If they signed up, if he's doing everything that his contract says that he can do, then he's got there's no complaints. At least about, there's nothing they can do to say, like, hey, you can't travel as much anymore.
Steve in downtown Seattle says, yes, I think Sean Barnes should be fired. In my view, it is his status quo lack of action and response that we've seen in Seattle for many years now.
Christy on Bainbridge, I don't think that he should be fired. It was just bad luck that he was gone the one day we had a mass shooting. It would not have changed the outcome anyway. Here's the problem, Christy. I totally understand what you're saying. Would his presence in Seattle have prevented that shooting? I don't believe it would have.
No, of course not.
That's not what anybody's saying. The larger question is, if he's constantly out of town, if this is a habit to be out of town a lot, he was obviously not there when they were doing the press briefing the night of. And that would obviously be something that he'd want to be front and center behind that microphone. And if he's not in town a lot, is that a problem for you guys?
Marion Bellevue says doctors, fire chiefs, ambulance drivers, 911 operators, everybody has days off. That's why they have stand-ins or other people being in charge in their absence. And we recognize that's the case here.
Sure.
And again, when I said this earlier in the week, and I'll continue to say it, whether you're in Dallas or Chicago or Seattle, if you're the chief of police, you should have a hand in directing the information flow to the media and to the community.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you are, you can still make that happen. But now it's being reported, and we're trying to run this down as well. Was the SPD prohibited from making public statements by direction of the mayor's office?
Yeah.
That's going to be the crux of this.
I can play you a cut in just a few minutes, actually. We have a story from Fox 13 where they talk about their SPD source who says, we were ready to go. And it was the mayor's office who said, pause, hold, which does actually corroborate with the SPD PIO coming out and saying, we've been told to hold for dignitaries.
Right.
So that backs up that side of the story. Let's see, here's another quick one. Susanna Lake Stevens, absolutely no, she should not fire him. The sign of a good leader is the ability to delegate successfully when absent. He's been doing well up to now, so we threw him out for something that he was doing as part of his job, which was a conference. Media is focusing on this far too much and exploiting the issue beyond reasonable. I don't think so, Suzanne. This is what people are talking about, and so are we. Last one, Dinah Bellevue. I'm more in favor of firing Katie Wilson. That's what popped up most. Most of you just want to fire Katie Wilson. So he keeps his job and she gets fired, according to the audience. All right. Can I play this clip for you when we get back, and then we'll jump into our feeding time?
You betcha.
All right,
Absolutely.
let's do that. Yeah. Stick around. We're going to be right back.
I heard a lot of gunfire.
It really sounded like a firework at first.
A community searching for answers.
Breaking news, a mass shooting at Seattle Center.
500 plus people just like stampeding our way.
It was horrible. The kids right there screaming, trying to get their dad.
The station you trust when it matters most.
Detectives are working to track down everyone involved.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM and mynorthwest.com.
Your old water heater's starting to peter.
DayandNight.net. Day and Night has $150 off installation of any new water heater, including tankless, backed by a free lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Bruce. When your old water heater leaks or fails, the damage could be catastrophic. Whether you need an emergency replacement or you're planning ahead before it leaks, give us a call and we'll help you get into hot water again.
Get $150 off installation of any new water heater.
DayandNight.net. Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Perfect game by a Seattle Mariner. It was done by the King.
50 seasons, 50 legends, one unforgettable night. Join the Mariners Saturday, August 8th for 50 season celebration night at T-Mobile Park, presented by Daktronics.
The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship.
Before the team takes on the Rays, arrive early for the most epic pregame ceremony in Mariners history. You'll witness the biggest gathering of franchise icons ever assembled as the 50 greatest Mariners from across all 5 decades are revealed. From Griffey to the big unit, from Ichiro to Nelson Cruz, and every legend in between, you don't want to miss this once-in-a-lifetime event.
Junior with a 2-run home run. Everybody is going bonkers here in the Kingdom.
Seats are going fast. Get yours at mariners.com/tickets.
Holy smokes, I can see. Hey everybody, it's Rick Riz, and I just had refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision, and it's amazing. K2 Vision RLE means no more readers or glasses for me. Plus, I'll never get a cataract. Now, when I call a game, you won't see those readers dangling from the end of my nose to see the field and then my notes. I only wish I had done it sooner. It's like seeing a whole new ball game. K2 Vision RLE was quick and painless, over in just minutes, and I knew I was in great hands. The K2 Vision RLE team has done over 150,000 lens procedures. You can trust their stuff. K2 Vision RLE is my permanent solution to a lifetime of great vision. It could be yours too. Enjoy life's good years without readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts. Get your free Zoom consult now at K2VisionRLE.com. Then you can make the same call I did. Goodbye, glasses. K2VisionRLE.com.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
The Boeing Classic welcomes the world's greatest golf legends to the Pacific Northwest, August 14th through the 16th at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge. Watch Masters champions and Golf Hall of Famers compete for a $2.3 million purse at the only PGA Tour champion stop in the region. Bring the whole family and make sure to check out the Seahawks Village, packed with fun for all ages. Tickets start at just $20 and kids get in free. Visit BoeingClassic.com to get yours today.
It's the best time of the year at Staples, with back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech and more at staples.com/back-to-school.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
KIRO News Radio is giving you a shot at 4 tickets to see the Seahawks in their preseason home opener, Saturday, August 15th.
To enter, open the KIRO Newsradio app or visit mynorthwest.com/win for details.
You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances.
Enter daily from July 28th through August 3rd.
Full details and rules at mynorthwest.com/win.
That's mynorthwest.com/win.
All right, welcome back to the show. It's feeding time.
Yeah, what do you got?
We're looking at our social media feeds. We're seeing what's being shoved down our throats. What are we being told to eat? Like social media. That's really what it is.
Finish your feed.
It is.
Yeah.
Finish your videos that they've shoved down your throat. Spike, do you want to start, or are you waiting? Are we waiting on audio on yours still?
No, Mike, have you got that for me?
I could just play it from here.
Please
okay.
Do,
So,
please do
let me know when you're ready.
Do you want to do a setup to this,
Sure,
Spike? What are we looking at here?
An artist died yesterday, a recording artist, and he's not very well known. You ever heard of a movie called Once? About an Irish busker who meets a girl and falls in love, and they make his record together.
That sounds right.
It was then made into a Broadway musical. Glenn Hansard is the artist. Is an Irish busker. And he died this morning in a motorcycle accident in Dublin.
I saw a story about that.
That's
awful.
A lot of my feed is Ireland tourism, Ireland music stuff like. Cause I look at it, I watch it over again. I save it sometimes.
Just music in general.
Music in general, yeah, big time. So Glenn Hansard was a victim of a motorcycle accident. 4:30 in the morning in Dublin. Going home, he was a father, he was a husband, and an Oscar winner. For Once, for the song. Mike, if you throw that song on.
And always fool me.
Oh, I know this song.
Yeah, this guy was a busker in Dublin, and he was actually, remember the movie The Commitments? He had a role in that at one point in time. He played the guitar player in that band, The Commitments. That was years ago. Small role, couple lines. Then this story Once, a friend of his wrote this story, and he starred, and it became an international celebrity and an acclaimed singer, songwriter, an Irish treasure, and that's been my feed all day.
Boy, it's a very sad story.
It is, and
a beautiful talent he was.
He was, and the movie itself, if you haven't seen Once, it's worth a watch. It's about not giving up on your dreams.
It's incredibly sweet. I would highly recommend it. Watch it with your sweetie.
Great music, great
Does
great
he
story.
star in it?
Yeah. Yeah, he stars.
So he acts in it?
He stars and acts and performs and wrote music that he wrote himself in it. And it's,
oh, man.
It's about a guy who gave up on his dream and meets somebody who encourages him not to give up on his dream and to follow through on it and helps him do that. And it's just a beautiful story and to me a real tragic loss that hit close to home because I have a deep love of Ireland. I've been to this place. I've been to numerous times. I've been the streets where he films his busking scenes in the movie, and
that's got to hit you on a ton of levels too, because you're an artist, you love Ireland, but you're also a motorcycle rider. Just the dangers of do we know how the accident happened, or
he collided with a car at 4:30 in the morning this morning in Dublin.
Oh my
and
gosh.
was treated at the scene, but perished.
Sorry,
I didn't. Yeah, but it's what's in my feed today.
I'm glad you brought it up. It's very sad news, but it's one of those things that happens where you get this reminder periodically. We have I'm going to skip mine because I'd rather stay on this topic for just a second. A very, very dear friend, basically brother of mine, is fighting cancer right now.
Yeah, and
he's in a situation where, just yesterday he got some news that wasn't great, and but he's just, the way that he's handling it mentally is just amazing to me. And a big part of that is, he's a religious guy, I'm a religious guy. There's a lot of prayer involved in this.
Yeah.
He at least has, even though the things that he's facing is it's a tall hill to climb.
Sure.
And he's got a good support system. But it's still a reminder that life is very short.
Yeah.
And just like this
Glenn Hansard, yeah.
Glenn guy.
He was 56 years old. I saw this morning, I'm like, was he sick? What's going on?
None of us knows.
You never know. Nothing is guaranteed except the minutes you're living in right now.
We walk around life and we forget that it's finite.
Yeah.
And none of us know the day or the hour. No. That's a fact. And you're right. It's like we've got today. We're not promised tomorrow. We can't go back to yesterday.
Take nothing for granted.
Make today the best day that you possibly can. Make it worth it.
That's why they call it the present, because it's a gift, the moments we're in.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, when I go home, I'm going to be hugging my kids tighter and also, just taking the opportunity to have moments with them that I hope that they're going to carry throughout their life.
Sure. You talked yesterday about how you were looking at your phone and your kids asking you questions, and you had the revelation, like, what am I doing?
Yeah, why am I staring at this? I want to stare at you.
Why am I giving this my
kid?
time? Yeah, and this moment of every day in a child's life is the only time you're getting that day, man.
I see. That's incredible. Yeah. It's incredibly sad news, and it's also one of those things that's, there's a gem of a thing hidden in there where it reminds the rest of us that if you're still hearing this, you have time, and don't forget that you have people you love and spend time with them while you can.
Yeah, you're here, buddy.
All right.
Time.
We got a whole nother hour. We got a lot of good stuff to get to that we haven't even had a chance to touch yet, that we've been holding on to for 2 o'clock, which we're going to get to when we get back. Many of those stories you're going to be very, very interested in, so you're not going to want to miss a second of those. One of the things we're going to talk about, income tax. Which is a weird segue from his touching moment.
Well, yeah.
But we will talk about that next. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Falling slowly, eyes that know me, and I can't go back. And moves that take me and erase me. And I'm painted black.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Take me out to big trees, take me to see the leaves. Privacy screens and evergreens, you already know they have thousands of trees.
Big Trees for tree sales and transplants. Find Big Trees in Snohomish or BigTreeSupply.com.
Tune in to elevate your wealth. If you're 5 to 10 years from retirement, you do not have the time to deal with a market downturn. With Mark Stimson and Casey Elkins.
It's important that you know what the rules are, because if you don't, you can make some tremendous decisions that could adversely affect you, and you may not be able to go back and fix them.
Tune in to Elevate Your Wealth, Saturdays at 11 a.m., right here on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
We all know a cancer diagnosis is physically and emotionally draining, but it can be financially draining too. That's why Northwest Hope and Healing is here to help. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare so patients can focus on healing. Since the year 2000, we have distributed over $3 million in direct financial assistance to thousands of local cancer patients. And you can make a direct impact. Mark your calendar for Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel and Spa in Woodinville. It's an unforgettable afternoon of hope and inspiration, celebrating local cancer survivors. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
I started Davis Law Group in 1994 to fight for the underdog. And as our team has grown, we've stayed true to that mission. Today, Davis Law Group is known for providing excellent service and even better results. Visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com to get your free book on car accident law.
You're in charge of ordering boxes. Small boxes, really big boxes. You're in charge of tape, labels, mailers, bubble wrap, extra bubble wrap, just for fun. You're in charge of warehouse cleaning and safety supplies. Good thing there's Uline. Thousands of quality products for your business and warehouse needs, always in stock, ready to ship same day, and backed by Uline's legendary 24/7 customer service. Uline makes it easy because you already do enough. Uline, we warehouse for you.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Americans working to stretch their budgets will not have to worry about higher interest rates for now. The Federal Reserve Board leaving interest rates unchanged. Members, though, were not all in agreement, with the war in Iran driving uncertainty. Here's ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
This was a very divided, unusually divided decision by the Fed. 3 Fed officials voted to increase interest rates. They dissented with this decision. They instead wanted to see rates go up. It is very unusual for us to see that kind of division in the Fed when you're thinking about an interest rate hike like this.
Investors reacting to that uncertainty and the Fed decision, the Dow tumbling by more than 1,100 points at close. The risk of flash flooding remains in portions of the Northeast following yesterday's severe storms. Areas in eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York received 3 to 6 inches of rain in a 24-hour period. In the nation's midsection and western states, it's the heat. This is ABC News. Dr. Anthony Fauci invoking the Fifth Amendment at a Senate hearing today. Fauci has become a flashpoint in the debate over the federal government's COVID pandemic response.
He described as Senator Rand Paul's obsession with calling for his prosecution, saying he believed he was subpoenaed to testify so he could potentially be prosecuted for perjury.
Under the advice of my attorneys, I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions.
While President Biden preemptively pardoned Fauci on his last day in office, that clemency wouldn't protect Fauci if he was accused of lying to Congress. He's denied wrongdoing and claims he's being vindictively targeted for his role in the pandemic response. Peter Haralambous, ABC News.
A New York State school district that had planned to use a robot powered by artificial intelligence in the classroom is now putting that idea on hold. Parents and teachers showing concern about how the personal information will be used. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
A vigil for the victims of Sunday's shooting at Seattle Center. Details after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
And let's start you up north in Everett. We've got that usual 2 o'clock exodus from Boeing, jamming up the Boeing freeway over to I-5. South 5, we're crowded from the U District to I-90. And then a little break and then another backup between the West Seattle Bridge to the north end of Boeing Field. North 5, scattered backups between the Michigan Curve and Ship Canal Bridge. Plan on 25 minutes to get you through this. South 405, scattered backups between South Bellevue and Renton. We're now pretty heavy through Factoria, so Bellevue to Renton has gone up to 25 minutes. North 405 remains thick through the Renton S curves. This is adding to a bumper-to-bumper backup on northbound 167 from 180th to 405. And southbound 167 is beginning to fill in through Algona and Sumner. Everywhere else, we're looking pretty good. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. Tonight's a silent vigil at the International Fountain, just steps away from the scene of Sunday's shooting at Seattle Center. We've learned one of the victims was waiting in line for cotton candy when those shots rang out. The family of 56-year-old Ashley Whitehead saying she later died at Harborview. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun tells us about the second innocent bystander.
44-year-old Carlos Israel Sanchez Villalba lost his life at the Bite of Seattle shooting while spending time with his loved ones. His GoFundMe says Carlos was a devoted husband, loving father of 3, and a loyal friend who would do anything for anyone.
If you'd like to donate to victims' families, we have posted their GoFundMe pages on mynorthwest.com. Tonight's vigil begins at 6:30. King County Council just passed new ethics reforms after a county staff member was accused of doling out more than $800,000 in grant money to her relatives. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
The Seattle Times says they uncovered the program manager paid $813,000 to companies owned by her family members and that the woman pressured 3 different subcontractors to hire her daughter. Councilmember Reagan Dunn, who called for an audit back in 2023, introduced the new legislation that passed unanimously.
Obviously, you shouldn't be doling out public dollars to members of your family. It just doesn't pass the laugh test, and it isn't appropriate and might be illegal.
The new law clarifies conflict of interest rules and forces any conflict to be resolved, not just disclosed. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Controversy at last night's Seattle Storm game where fans rallied for Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham. She recently spoke out against transgender athletes in girls and women's sports. Some fans booed her. Storm head coach Sonia Rahman.
I know our organization was, working closely with Climate Pledge and with security to just make sure that, everybody feels safe and included and welcome when they walk in this door. And from what I understand, that was successful.
Well, the controversy grew after a Storm co-owner confronted 2 teenage girls in pro-Cunningham shirts. In a statement, the team's majority owner now apologizing, telling Front Office Sports, quote, everyone who attends a Storm game deserves to feel welcome, and we remain committed to creating an inclusive environment where every fan is treated with respect, end quotes. To your forecast now, we are seeing sunshine this afternoon, more the same tomorrow and again on Friday. Highs in the mid to upper 70s the next couple of days, slightly cooler for Seafair weekend with a chance for some light rain as well. Right now, 74 and sunny in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 2 hours down, one fantastic hour to go. Lots of stuff to get to. Just a couple minutes, we're going to play a audio clip. We were going to play last segment. We didn't have a chance to get to it. And this is in regards to the timeline in question after the Bite of Seattle shooting. There was a 5-hour delay. SPD claimed they were ready to go very shortly after to give an update to the public. Many of whom were still like sheltering in place, literally hiding in restaurants. And then, according to the source, that mayor's office then stepped in and said, like, no, you're going to wait. And we're going to wait for 5 hours is what it ended up being. For dignitaries.
Oh, that word.
The mayor's office says, no, that's not us. We didn't tell them to wait for 5 hours, and we weren't waiting for dignitaries. It was security concerns and cleaning up the area, making sure everything was ready to go so we could safely give our presser. Anyway, we'll play that audio clip in just a minute from Fox 13. It's a good one. We're going to start with this one, though. Election season, ballot season, November. This would be in November, right? Is this going to be on the ballot in November?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. There is an initiative 645, to repeal the millionaire's tax, so-called millionaire tax, is income tax, but to repeal the millionaire's tax. If you vote yes on this initiative, it's saying, yes, I want to repeal. If you vote no, you're saying, no, I do not want to repeal, which in itself is already kind of confusing.
Amen.
Which is the reason that they made it an emergency so that they could confuse you. That's what they're trying to do, in my opinion. So Let's Go Washington, the group behind the initiative, and who gathered more than 500,000 signatures to get on the ballot, they have now filed a lawsuit in a Thurston County Superior Court. I'm going to read for you in just a second the language that the Attorney General's office approved to put on the initiative, the ballot.
Yeah.
This is what, if you are a voter and you have not been following this super closely and you're trying to make an assessment, let's say you're a coin flip, and you're trying to make an assessment about whether or not you want to vote yes on I-645 or no, a lot of folks are going to read the description of what the initiative's about. And they might seek out what the Attorney General has said describes the ballot initiative. And, they're limited in space. They only have a few short words to get the point across of what they believe the initiative does for the voter. So I'm going to read to you the 21 words that they have come up with, and then you tell me if you think that it's a fair assessment of what the ballot initiative does.
And this is the Attorney General's approved language?
This is the Attorney General's approved language for what
it's going to be on the ballot.
On the ballot. Okay.
Got it.
Quote, this measure would decrease funding for public K-12 education, higher education, including universities and community colleges, and human services, primarily healthcare, end quote. If you saw that on your ballot, and you're not somebody who follows the news as closely as maybe our audience does, and you weren't already steeped in all of the knowledge about the history of the Jamie Petersons and the Bob Fergusons and the, who's the drunk guy? Who's the one? Who's the drunk?
I don't remember.
The guy who's horribly drunk.
I know who you're, yes.
In that video.
One time.
What's his name? One time that at least was caught on video that he admitted to. He's the horribly drunk guy. Come on, it's Joe Fitzgibbon. I was waiting for you guys to come up with it.
If you had it, you're just toying with me now.
I know, but it was fun.
I literally panicked. I'm like, I know who it is.
You know who I'm talking about.
Everybody's yelling at their radios right now.
Fitzgibbon.
Funny thing is, if you just type in the words Washington drunk legislator, the first thing that pops up.
Was it? No way.
I swear to you, look at right here.
Oh, that's perfect.
I typed in Washington drunk legislator and.
Heck of a legacy.
Yeah, thank you, AI. Build more data centers.
So, okay, if you don't know all that history and you're just reading this, what is your takeaway going to be about the initiative?
Well, I'm not for underfunding education or
of course,
or healthcare.
Nobody wants to see human services go away.
Right? Of course I'm going to vote against that. But the legal challenge is they're making claims they feel can't. It's not that they're challenging that it's confusing. They're challenging that it's making claims that they feel aren't valid.
Yeah.
That they can't guarantee that this.
Well, they're saying how can you decrease funding for something that won't even be funded for 3 years? That's essentially the claim. It doesn't kick in until 2029, and you're telling me that I have to vote on something today that is going to decrease funding for something that hasn't even been collected yet. So how does that work?
No, I get the legal argument there. Yeah, I'm with him.
I think that's it. So my question to the audience and to you is, does the lawsuit now filed in Superior Court, does it have merit? Will it be reviewed, and will they get a favorable ruling that's saying, yeah, you're right, that's a very misleading
They've got a better case than I thought they had when I first heard about this story, when the lawsuit coming forth. It's the second lawsuit, by the way, asking about the questionable language in the referendum. We said a couple weeks ago, it's confusing by nature. No means yes for a millionaire's tax because it's a no vote to repeal.
Yes means no.
Yes means no. No means yes.
Yes means no. I don't want a millionaire's tax.
Yeah,
no means yes.
If I'm having a judge rewrite the proposition,
the
referendum.
Initiative.
The initiative. See, even that's confusing. And I'm not the dumbest guy on radio.
Mayor, he's
but
mayor.
I'm close. I'm close. If we're gonna have a judge rewrite the referendum, are you for a millionaire's tax? Yes or no? Easy question. If you vote no, then the repeal goes forward.
See, but
If
even you saying
yes,
that is confusing people because it's like it's all built in.
Yeah.
If you vote yes on the initiative, you're saying I don't want a millionaire's tax. If you vote no to not approve the initiative, you're saying I would like to keep the initiative, the millionaire's tax, which is already law,
no means yes,
signed into law by Bob Ferguson. So do you think, though, that those 21 words that the Attorney General's office has approved, is that a fair description of what the initiative does?
Well, in their legal interpretation of how those programs are going to be funded, the law itself is written in a manner that allows those fundings to go to those resources.
But
that's their legal argument.
But here's the problem. But does not specifically say it's going to all of those in any specific way. It could, because those things are paid for out of the general fund. So it could go to some of those things. It could, but maybe only 5% of the money collected goes to those things.
It could go to the size of shrimp we serve at congressional gatherings.
100%.
Or the governor's mansion.
It could go to all those
the thread count and the sheets at the governor's mansion.
It could go to those.
Yeah. I'm not for
what was it? 300 new hires to tax employees in the state.
Yeah.
It could go to that. It could just be about the infrastructure to collect the tax. That's all it could go to, possibly. And so, yeah, I feel like that is kind of misleading. And I hope that the Thurston County Superior Court.
So then does a judge step in? Does a judge write the verbiage? Or does the judge ask the Attorney General's office to
rewrite it to something acceptable?
And then we got to fight that one, too, because their agenda's the same.
Do you think it's fair for them to say that this will decrease funding for something that hasn't even been collected yet? That's a really strong argument.
If it's not dedicated in that law, in that bill, that this portion of these funds will go to do this specific thing that we're fear-mongering you're going to lose.
Yeah.
If it's not directly, specifically designated to those, I don't think you can claim that you're going to lose it if you vote to repeal the millionaire's tax.
Also, if you haven't collected, it's not as if this money is collected this year. It's not like it's not like the money is just sitting in an account gaining interest, waiting to be spent on these things. They don't even start collecting it until 2029.
Yeah, but I feel if they can't count on it being there in 2029, they got to start making those cuts now because their money ain't coming in the future. They got to start planning accordingly.
Well,
That's
they
their
don't
argument.
even have the budget for 29 yet. If I'm not mistaken, they don't know what the budget's going to be, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So they still have to figure out what they're going to spend on everything. And it'll be interesting to see how the Thurston County Superior Court decides on this. That feels to me pretty misleading. I don't know how they can make a statement like that when they don't even have the money for a couple more years. All right, let's move to this clip real fast. This is another controversial thing. This is the mayor's office versus the Seattle police. Never a good thing when you have the mayor versus the police. But the police are saying, according to the source from Fox 13, they talked to an officer that said they wanted to alert the public and bring them up to speed on the latest very quickly after the incident at the Bite of Seattle, which is 6 p.m. Is that right?
6 p.m. was the shootings, yeah.
So shortly after that, they get the area to a point where they feel like we can start alerting the public and sending out some information. Mayor's office, according to them, shuts it down. Listen, now the mayor's office is also saying, like, no, we didn't tell them to not have a press conference. They were securing the area. This is what Fox 13 had to say about it.
A source at the Seattle Police Department told Fox 13 officers wanted to hold a media briefing Sunday night to update the public, but Mayor Katie Wilson's office asked them to wait for dignitaries to arrive.
Did anyone in your office tell SPD leadership that they could not hold that press conference between 7:45 and 8 p.m. Sunday night?
That is not my understanding, no.
Do you know if there's anyone else in your office that are making these calls without your knowledge?
That is not my understanding, no.
I'm going to pause there real fast. What is the thing that caught your ear? Probably the same thing that caught my ear.
how well she had rehearsed that line.
It's almost like Fauci saying, "I plead the fifth." It's almost like by advice of counsel.
Absolutely, that is not my understanding.
That's a pre-planned kind of a scapegoat, right?
It gives more wiggle room.
Yeah.
Then absolutely.
You're totally right, because down the road, if more stuff comes out that actually somebody in her office did tell the SPD, no, we're holding for dignitaries, she then has culpability to say, like, oh, guys, or not culpability. She has, what's the word I'm looking for, where she can kind of blame it on that.
Oh,
plausible deniability.
Plausible deniability.
Thank you, Mike.
She can step in and say, like, well, like I said, it was not my understanding. But if they did that, we certainly shouldn't have done that. But that's not on me.
Yeah, it gives you room to recover. It's a Kevlar CYA.
You're totally right.
So my understanding, which I shared yesterday, is that first of all, we had a lot of communication going back and forth between my office and SPD and our state and federal elected officials as we were trying to work together on the response to this incident.
When you have a mass shooting.
Hold on. And like I said, at Seattle Center, we had a scene of active investigation where the police were actively looking for suspects. And so my understanding is that we were told that it was not helpful to have me or other elected officials coming down to the scene while that active search was going on. And so we went back and forth and eventually landed on an appropriate time to address the press and to share information.
Every time I hear it, it gets worse.
It gets
every
worse.
time. There's a lot of information coming back and forth. Oh, I'm sorry, it was hard. So let's give you a pass for doing the wrong thing, for falling down on the job, for failing to keep the community informed, and thus keeping the community safe. We didn't know it was hard. I'm sorry. Never mind.
Was it busy for you?
There was a lot of stuff going on.
Was there a lot of information coming your way?
That's so insulting. That is so insulting as a citizen of Western Washington.
How long does she last in this job? I mean, does she do her full term, or does she at some point just say, like, hey, I can't accomplish everything I wanted to accomplish, and this is a hard job, so I'm going to...
Somebody spoke earlier to, I think, one of our texters, when is a vote of no confidence? When does that come forth from Seattle City Council? I mean, it's you've heard the expression, it's not the crime, it's the cover-up.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you stop the flow of information from SPD, and if reports that the governor was saying at 9 o'clock, why haven't we alerted the community that there is...
Oh, is that what he said?
That's the rumor, and just a rumor that I've heard bouncing around.
There was questions
the governor
about...
saying, hey, how come we haven't made a public announcement that there is potentially another shooter still at large?
Okay, that's another great question, because that's what I was wondering. For Governor Bob Ferguson.
Now you're doing it. See how catchy it is?
It is catchy.
It is.
Governor
Chief
Bob Ferguson.
No, that's not it.
Governor Bob Ferguson was standing beside Katie Wilson and Assistant Chief Tyrone Davis when they were giving that presser at 11 p.m.
Right.
He did not start the night in Seattle. I believe he came from Olympia, according to the Seattle Times article I read. So how could he have gotten there in time for the presser, unless they were very late in the presser and he just happened to get lucky enough to get there, or they were holding to have him there on the scene in the camera frame with everybody. But if he was saying at 9:30, like, what's stopping you guys from giving this information?
It's fine if you want to have a press conference that's got all the dignitaries there, that the mayor doesn't feel confident enough unless she's got other heavyweights standing next to her, which is a legitimate question for the mayor. But that...
You can't stop the flow of information.
It's fine to wait till 11 to have all the faces you want in a secure place, even like Seattle Center, but not notifying the public in a timely manner because you were waiting for this is a horrific decision and a lack of leadership.
Do you think we'll actually get an answer to who's responsible?
Only if yes, we will, unless we stop asking the question. And it behooves us as citizens, as residents, as the media.
I don't know. I feel like this is a circle the wagons moment where we just may never find out. It just might be one of those things where they just ignore it. You think about all the turnover in her office lately. I mean, what, just a week ago?
New press secretary, new communications director, new chief
communications, chief of staff, gone.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
And did they not seek out experienced people for these positions when they realized they were going to be vacated or
well, some of those people in those positions that have left are not newbies to politics. Maybe they just realized that she's totally unaware of the job and decided to step down.
I hope we don't. And this doesn't move forward. And the pace of information and the events that we have, the short attention span, and all the other things that compete for our attention. I hope this question doesn't go unanswered.
I think the most likely scenario, sadly, is that we just never get a clear answer on why they waited that 5 hours. And probably from a PR perspective, whoever she has hired now to run her comms team or whatever, they're probably huddling and saying like, all right, we need to shift focus quickly to something else. We don't want to be at odds with the SPD. That's a bad look in the wake of a mass shooting.
Agreed.
So we need to figure out how to move on to something else quickly.
Well, I'll tell you one way out, one exit off-ramp for this. Well, Chief Barnes yesterday seemed like I thought he did very well in the press conference yesterday. Seemed like the only adult in the room yesterday. Says, look, there was a lack of information to the community. I'm going to tell you moving forward, that's not ever going to be the case again.
Mm-hmm.
This department will deliver information necessary to the community and its safety and its peace of mind in a timely manner.
Yeah.
If we have to wait and get a formal, and again, for the fact that the mayor wanted to be standing next to the governor, next to the representative in the scene of the crime, that's nothing but theatrics. That is them needing to be here. You could have given information that press conference could have happened with the dignitaries on the steps, anywhere else.
Yeah.
If Seattle Center's not safe, good, we'll move it to your office, Madam Mayor.
Yeah. Or just like anywhere else.
It could have been a press release. Could have been a text message to the community. Should have been a text message to the community.
It's just inexperience.
When you've got people hunkered down in local businesses, not knowing if there's an active shooter on the street still at large. It's just irresponsible.
Speaking of the businesses, you see those stories about all the looting and stuff that happened in the aftermath?
We didn't even have a chance to get to that yet.
Can we just real fast? Can you tell the audience about that? That was crazy.
First, we have a Como report, and then a KIRO TV, and then a KIRO TV also reported that vendors at the Bite of Seattle reported that the next day when they were allowed to come in, the center was evacuated, of course, as it should be, not knowing the situation in hand. When vendors came back in, they found their stands, in many cases, looted, cash boxes stolen, products stolen, vandalized, products destroyed, equipment destroyed. That was in the post-shooting absence when they cleared and evacuated the vendors from Seattle Center. And by the time they were allowed back in,
stuff was gone.
You're looking for an active shooter, but there's vandals that can come in, thieves that can come in.
That's my question.
If
you're locking down the area, who's doing the stealing?
Right.
This was one of the business owners talking to KIRO 7.
With all the different vendors I see here, even if they're in-state, out-of-state, they pour their heart and soul into having a small business, and this is really what makes or breaks it for them.
Can you imagine after all that, like just the craziness of that day? We did the story like a week ago.
How expensive
One of the
it was.
biggest expenses to being one of the vendors at some of these events is your daily fire permit, which is like hundreds of dollars.
$400 a day.
$400 a day.
In case we got to call the fire department. Because we're operating cooking equipment and food and flame and blah, blah, blah. I get it.
But like there's a lot of expenses that go into this. It's a big investment. And then something like tragic like this happens. And then you're hoping for some kind of humanity. It's at such a horrible event. But then you come back and then on top of all of it, they've stolen everything that you have. And a lot of these vendors are now saying like, well, we'll just never come back.
Yeah.
We can't afford it.
We can't afford it.
We don't want to be around it. Oh, it's crazy. All right. Can we talk about something upbeat? Can we talk about some good news?
Sure.
Can we do some sports?
Absolutely.
I saw a stat that you guys are not going to believe about the Seattle Mariners. You're just not going to believe it. But Mike Lefko from 710 Seattle Sports, he's going to join us next. We're going to discuss. We're also going to talk about the Seahawks. And we're going to ask him, because he's been on a training camp.
Yeah.
And HBO Hard Knocks is also filming. So I'm going to ask him some behind-the-scenes stuff. It's going to be very interesting. Stick around. Be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
I used to think all money managers were the same until I spoke with Fisher Investments.
Really? How different are they?
Fisher's investment counselors are dedicated to service, not sales, keeping clients up to date on their portfolio.
Well, they probably just invest in a bunch of mutual funds like I do.
Nope. They build a tailored portfolio based on their clients' personal goals, helping them stay on track for a comfortable retirement.
Well, they must make commissions selling products.
Actually, Fisher doesn't sell any commission-based products. They're a fiduciary, and they believe that's a conflict.
Then they have some kind of complex fee structure.
Nope. Fisher has a simple, transparent fee that's a percentage of their client's portfolio. So they do better when their clients do better.
It sounds like Fisher really is different.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Fisher Investments. Clearly different wealth management. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com/different. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Thinking about a new roof or exterior upgrade, but worried about the cost? This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We've created our summertime savings event to make it simple and affordable. Save up to $3,000 off your exterior project or get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. And every qualifying GAF roof is backed by our lifetime Golden Pledge warranty. One call gets you started. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at K2VisionRLE.com.
There's a sink at the brink and a drain that's a pain. DayandNight.net.
Slow drain? Backed up toilet? Call Day and Night to save $100 off any drain cleaning.
Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. From a slow drain to a major backup, no drain is too big or too small. Whether we're your first choice or smart second opinion, I guarantee our experts will solve any drain problem, day or night.
Now get $100 off any drain cleaning.
DayandNight.net.
I'm spending my summer in a new Subaru Forester Touring Hybrid from Carter Subaru, and yes, I am officially spoiled. It is so comfortable, and as my first hybrid, the timing couldn't be better with the high gas prices. And for a limited time, you can also get a 2026 Subaru Crosstrek starting at 1.9% APR. Carter Subaru in Ballard, Shoreline, or cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 7/31/26.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's Cars with a K.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. President Trump appears to change his tune on his next move with Iran and now backing down from his previous stance that the U.S. would not strike Iran while they attempt negotiations. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has the latest from the White House.
He says it's our turn to do it. They know it's coming. This, of course, a response to last night's surprise attack, 5 missiles targeting U.S. forces in Jordan. The president said thanks to the Patriot missile interceptors, each of the incoming Iranian rockets was taken down. Now, without providing specifics, the president also said of Iran, we're going to smack them a little bit.
Fears of more fighting in Iran led to rising oil prices and a major sell-off on Wall Street, with the Dow losing more than 1,150 points today. Interest rates, another big reason for the losses, as the Fed kept rates unchanged. ABC's Elizabeth Schultz reports.
Very little information in this statement when you think about the outlook for the path ahead. It was virtually identical to the statement that the Fed released last month. They did still note that inflation remains elevated, and this is in large part to higher energy prices, that economic activity, they say, is expanding at a solid pace, but really no guidance in this about what the Fed will do in the months ahead.
Unprecedented and catastrophic. That's how the dean of the University of Washington School of Law describes a technology breakdown that shut down yesterday's bar exam in Yakima. In a letter to the state Supreme Court, the dean says it left hundreds of applicants unable to take the test. UW, Seattle University, and Gonzaga now asking the courts to grant emergency diploma privilege that would allow affected graduates to become licensed attorneys without taking the bar exam. Supreme Court has not yet responded. The state bar says it's working on a makeup test in September. A federal judge temporarily blocks the U.S. Department of Education from ending school-based mental health grants in Washington and 14 other states. KIRO Newsradio's Katrina Gishard reports our state's attorney general led that legal challenge.
The grants provide counseling and behavioral health services in public schools, which were set to end July 31st. Brown's office says losing the grants would have cost students nearly $20 million in mental health support. The temporary restraining order remains in effect through August 24th, while the court considers longer-term protections.
And that takes us to 2:33. We have Nate Connors now at the real-time traffic desk.
Hey, thanks, Aaron. Let's start up north, Everett to Marysville, just under a 15-minute drive with our usual backups between 526 and 528. Nothing heavy yet. South 5 into Seattle, looking pretty good. You're going to slow from the U District to the Convention Center, just 20 minutes from Linwood in the downtown. North 5, we've got scattered backups from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Plan on 25 minutes to get through all this. Both lake bridges wide open. Westbound 520 are going to jam up there at Montlake. South 405, we're bumper to bumper now from Southeast 8 in Bellevue down through Cold Creek Parkway. Bellevue to Renton, plan on a half-hour commute. Got another backup down there in South Center. North 405 is thick from South Center through the Renton S-curves. 25 minutes from South Center into Bellevue. And southbound 167 now bumper to bumper between Algona and Sumner. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Forecast looking good for the rest of the work week with highs in the mid to upper 70s. Could see some 80s on Friday, mostly sunny skies. And then the weekend for Seafair, cooling off a little bit. Should see some more clouds and potentially some light showers as well. Right now, 73 degrees, sunny in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. Very excited and happy to have this guy on. It's been a minute, but he's back. Mike Lefko from 710 Seattle Sports. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. How's it going?
It's going.
It was a good night last night, so I guess it's going okay. We'll let you know after today's game with the Dodgers.
We're here. Well, that game's later, so right now it's good. Yeah, we're talking before this game.
A couple things we want to cover here. Let's start with some Mariners. I saw a stat yesterday that I was amazed by. Last year at this time, on July 27th of 2025, so I guess 2 days ago, the Mariners were 4 games out of first place. Mm-hmm. And 2 days ago, July 27, 2026, the Mariners are in a better position than they were last year. They're only 2.5 games out. Now, they won last night, and so did the Rangers. So has that number changed, or are they still 2.5 games?
Still,
yeah. 2.5.
Yeah.
So why is my perception of the Mariners so different than it was last year? Or was it, did all of my bandwagon fandom not happen until after, like, August in last year?
Oh, no, I don't know. I mean, if you are happy with them contending for a playoff spot, which they are, then it's fine. But the expectations were raised because of what they did last year, which is getting to the ALCS. So
I guess you're right.
When you get a game away,
last year.
yeah. When you are barely above 500 last year, but they had missed the playoffs in a couple of seasons, and they're walling around 500 again. You're like, okay, well, this is what we've gotten used to again. Unfortunately, now you come off a season where on paper this was the best roster they had ever assembled, and you have the best pitching staff that they probably have ever had. So you build on being one game away from the World Series. The expectation should be, you're going to be running away with your division, especially when the division is so subpar. So that's the frustrating part, is that they're in contention, but they're below 500. Yeah, so it's a bad division saving them in a normal season. If it was last year and they're barely above 500, maybe they're further back. But, you could be happy that they're in a playoff spot because they still could salvage it, and then we saw what happened in the postseason. Or you're frustrated because they have performed well below expectations.
It's funny, though, because, they're in the worst division in baseball. Hard to argue against it. But they're still, 5 less wins than the best record in the American League?
Yeah, the whole American League.
Yeah, the whole of the American League. And is that the Mariners having a lower than expectation year? Is that just a leveling competition amongst teams in the AL across baseball?
It's weird. It's hard to know year to year, but a lot of the elite talent has gone to the National League, and that's just the randomness of the contracts and guys paying for the big salaries like a Shohei Ohtani or a Juan Soto. So there's been a talent exodus to the National League. Then in the American League, someone like Aaron Judge being hurt has kept the Yankees down. So the best team is the Rays. They don't really have any superstars. And then you have the Guardians and White Sox are kind of mucking around there that, no one separated themselves. So another reason to, if you want a glass half full, say, look, the Mariners just get into the playoffs. Who knows what happens? It's anyone's race. But do you really want to kind of wait to get all the way down to the end of the season and still have to be fighting tooth and nail just to get in?
I would like them to be dominant.
It's a lot easier
I want them to be the best team in baseball. That's what I want them to be.
Well, like you said, if you didn't pay attention to August last year, you got a few days until you need to start paying attention.
Technically, I don't have to start paying attention until after Seafair, which is always my rule. With
What's funny you mention that, because Seafair wraps up on Sunday and Monday's a trade deadline.
Yeah, there you go.
That gets us on to the next topic. Do the Mariners have the goods, or are they going to make a move? Should they make a move?
They have the goods, and then it gets slightly complicated because you're not necessarily just involved with what you need. There are so many other extraneous factors that play into this, where what teams want to do a deal with you, what teams are also trying to better themselves, which the problem with the American League, where there's so much mediocrity, that means a lot of teams still think they have a playoff shot.
Or shopping.
So they don't want to necessarily punt on the season where, you can just play consistent baseball, find a way into the playoffs, and because no one really stands out, maybe some mediocre team like the Twins, who were thought to be sellers or punting on the season, or the Red Sox, who had been the worst team in the American League until they won 15 in a row. Now, all of a sudden, they're looking at their team.
Right.
They look around baseball and think, well, we don't want to get rid of players. So if there aren't a lot of teams trying to get rid of players, you might have to pay an exorbitant price. And that becomes the discussion, is it worth it? Because the Mariners, they're getting healthier. They have guys back in the lineup. You're going to have a guy that comes in and really isn't. You're not going to have a guy that comes in this year and is an everyday superstar standout guy like Naylor was last year at the trade deadline. Yeah. So then you have to balance, all right, is it worth it to give up pretty key pieces from your team for a short-term boost?
Can we switch over for a second to Seahawks?
Sure, yeah.
You're wearing a Seahawks shirt.
I've been out there. You didn't even know that. Good timing-wise. We're at training camp past couple days.
That's why I invited you on the show.
Okay.
Is because I've been seeing you posting
there
about.
There
we go. How are the Seahawks looking?
They look great. They look like Super Bowl champs.
Here's another fun thing. Yeah. Are you seeing the cameras from HBO?
Yeah, they're everywhere.
And what is that?
They have the boom mics. They're on the field.
So
they're in everyone's business.
Seahawks are going to be in. Seahawks are featured this year on HBO's Hard Knocks. Mm-hmm. First time in franchise history they've ever done that. Because before McDonald, there was kind of this Pete Carroll version where they didn't want the attention.
Well, yeah, there also used to be rules the NFL strictly abided by, and then it got tough to get new teams on there. So the Seahawks were too good to ever be on Hard Knocks. There were very specific rules. Yeah. So
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, you had to have, if you had missed the playoffs for 2 straight years, you were eligible.
So the NFL's like, these guys need some attention. We'll give it to them.
If you had a new head coach, you were not eligible. So basically the Seahawks never found themselves in that spot where they were then going to be eligible for Hard Knocks. So more and more teams are like, well, wait, we've already been on. We don't want to be on again. It's a little intrusive. Cameras are everywhere. Apparently, Hard Knocks went into every team meeting room and key offices and put little cameras up in the ceiling.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty invasive. Now, they're not going to air any secret conversations, but teams don't really like doing that multiple times. So the NFL had to change their rules.
Do teams have a sign-off on that? Because I've wondered about that. When you watch Hard Knocks, the cool thing is you do get a behind-the-scenes look at what training looks like. All the rooms are like mic'd up and have cameras, but they could be giving away secrets.
No, I was told. So the first episode airs Tuesday. This upcoming Tuesday. What is that, the 4th? Yeah. So that episode airs Tuesday. There's going to be 5 episodes every Tuesday. The Seahawks get to look before this first one comes out. And I think they'll get a look at every final cut.
Do they have editing rights?
Well, they get to say, like, hey, look, that's like if they're showing a room, like a position room. Yeah, they don't want to give away secrets. So they would probably just say, like, blur that out. I don't think they get to say, no, don't show that conversation unless it's like talking about specific terminology.
Right.
So then you kind of have that back and forth. But they don't have like the final cut of, oh, well, this conversation is 2 coaches making fun of someone. We don't want you to air that. Now, it doesn't bode well for the NFL. And then Hard Knocks and HBO might not get that access to make someone look bad. So, you kind of have some creative. You have some creative
It takes a lot of
leeway
years
there
to get Final Cut. I mean, Christopher Nolan just got Final Cut.
But it is something where the Seahawks, I think, go through, and if they show a meeting room, whoever the head producers at HBO might not know, like, that's a secret they haven't shown yet. And the Seahawks might be like, well, actually, look, that's a play that we want to work on.
Are you trying to, like, weasel your way into the background?
No, I mean, we joked about that. But the thing is, honestly, being out there, the cameras are pretty focused on the action on the field. So maybe we're in a background shot somewhere, but they're like right up in there and they're fully focused on the field. They're running out behind the players. They have those long boom mics, so like to lean up over into the position group huddles that you're getting the audio of, and the camera guys are like right there. There are dozens and dozens of cameras out there.
Pete Carroll's concern, as Jake mentioned, was the distraction factor and how hard it is to win in the NFL. The littlest distraction can be the difference. Are players noticing? Do you notice if players are paying any attention at all?
Ernest Jones was asked about that. He says, yeah, you notice them, but then you kind of block it out and you go about your business. I think it's probably like a game where, hey, there are fans, and obviously you notice fans, you hear them, but you just lock in and focus on what you do. And it's not like
every minute of these guys' lives isn't already chronicled and everything they do.
Well, you know what?
Well, that's what I was thinking about with these guys. Like, you think about
like anything they do.
Well, anything they do since they've been probably in high school. People have been like, oh, this is a special person. Let's stare at them as they do this.
I was going to say, I think the messaging from the Seahawks, and maybe this is Mike McDonald and why he's been so successful, he kind of flipped it on his head. He said it's not a distraction. Like, let's show what we do, and then the whole world can see what we do. So we're not changing what they do. Whatever they did last year resulted in a Super Bowl. So they're going to go do the same thing. The cameras will just be there. So it doesn't change anything. They're just kind of embracing, like, look, we're the Seahawks. This is what we do. We do it better than anyone else, and the cameras are going to be there to show that.
I like that. Just peacocking around, all of them.
Pretty much. You don't need to change just because cameras are there.
Is there any talk at all about how the world loves the LA Rams?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's been our talk on our station. And then it kind of gets brought up to the Seahawks, and they're very diplomatic. They're like, well, we're just focused on ourselves. No one wants to give anyone bulletin board material. So players will say, we're just focused on ourselves. We want to be the best we can be, all that stuff.
Right on, Coach Mike.
That's what you want.
All right, Mike Lefkoe, thanks for coming in, man. We appreciate it. Well, let's check back in.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
I heard a lot of gunfire.
It really sounded like a firework at first.
A community searching for answers.
Breaking news, a mass shooting at Seattle Center.
500 plus people just like stampeding our way.
It was horrible. The kids right there screaming, trying to get their dad.
The station you trust when it matters most.
Detectives are working to track down everyone involved.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM and mynorthwest.com.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. After a pretty mild winter that we had, forecasters are predicting above average temperatures, which we're seeing this summer across western Washington. And if your home is struggling to stay cool, your attic could actually be the culprit. Poor insulation or no insulation in your attic can account for up to 40% of the heat gain in your home over the summertime. That puts a load on your air conditioner and it can leave you sweating. Fortunately, Valentine Roofing, the team in the red van, has you covered. This summer, you can bundle energy-saving attic insulation with a new roof and save 10%. That's better comfort, improved energy efficiency, and less strain on your cooling system. Thousands of homeowners, just like me, have trusted Valentine Roofing for roofing, attic insulation, and complete home protection because every project comes with the Valentine experience. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service. Plus, with no money down on your project, you don't pay until your project is complete. So call 206 Roofing to save 10% when you bundle a new roof and attic insulation. That's 206 Roofing. And when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
You bought an RV, and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either. Because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself and Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Summer is for sunshine.
It's a beautiful day out for baseball here at T-Mobile Park.
Summer is for moonshots.
He just absolutely obliterates this! Multi-homer game, Cole Young!
Summer is for Mariners baseball.
Emerson is racing over, slides on! He makes the catch! Incredible!
So listen for the cheers and follow your ears to T-Mobile Park. Because where else can you travel to on a ferry boat and then eat crab nachos out of a ferry boat?
How sweet it is!
It is the sweetest, Rick. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
The Mariners are back in town this Friday, and the fun gets started with 50 Seasons Fireworks Night, presented by T-Mobile. Then don't miss Aloha Shirt Day Saturday, presented by Fred Meyer, and Super Mario Day Sunday, featuring a Julio Rodriguez bobblehead giveaway. Thanks to Nintendo. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
We all know a cancer diagnosis is physically and emotionally draining, but it can be financially draining too. That's why Northwest Hope and Healing is here to help. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare so patients can focus on healing. Since the year 2000, we have distributed over $3 million in direct financial assistance to thousands of local cancer patients. And you can make a direct impact. Mark your calendar for Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel and Spa in Woodinville. It's an unforgettable afternoon of hope and inspiration, celebrating local cancer survivors. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising! After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people. at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
KIRO News Radio is giving you a shot at 4 tickets to see the Seahawks in their preseason home opener, Saturday, August 15th.
To enter, open the KIRO News Radio app or visit mynorthwest.com/win for details.
You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances.
Enter daily from July 28th through August 3rd.
Full details and rules at mynorthwest.com/win.
That's mynorthwest.com/win.
All right, welcome back to the show. Little peek behind the curtain. One of the fun games that Spike and I play is when we see because we have the news stations on, they always have the talking head people. Yeah. And we try to find what celebrity they look like. And today, did I nail it today or what?
You nailed it. That's incredible.
There's a guy on CNN right now that looks exactly like the kind of simpleton brother from Mickey Blue Eyes. It's a totally stupid game. And
also, for those Mickey Blue Eyes is a great movie. I loved it. But he's also one of the bug entomology experts of Silence of the Lambs.
Oh my gosh, he was.
Am I right?
Yes, yes. You're totally right.
My God, the man on CNN looks exactly
like him.
Profoundly upsetting.
Yes.
Deeply upsetting looking person.
All right, it's last call, folks, which means we get to hear from you. We got a bunch of texts today. Mike, why don't you start us off?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me back. It's been fun filling in for Laura here. She'll be back tomorrow, and I will return at some point, I promise. But,
excellent.
First subject is cutting down trees, which elicited way more responses than I was anticipating. But my dude, Doug in Mount Vernon, brought the heat. If a tree falls in the forest, you'll have to wait till after the break to hear about it.
There you go.
Ooh,
and he's in Mount Vernon, which is kind of known for a lot of trees.
Trees?
Jared in Lakewood, also a very tree-like community, or tree-y community. Also, if we cut down all trees, we'll have less power outages. We mentioned that. I think you guys are onto something here. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Mark in Nisqually, Thurston County's tech rescue team has taken a lot of rangers and other parachutists out of trees at JBLM. That said, they haven't chopped down any trees yet. The story, because the story was a guy at a parachute.
A skydiver, parachutist, was caught in a tree. I imagine that knowing how to extract people from trees is important to military training.
Sure.
They probably put up extra trees just to catch the guys. Anybody can hit the ground.
It's just like a safety mechanism from invading forces.
Yeah.
Plant a tree.
Justin in Enumclaw writes, they need to stop cutting down any trees and just make stuff out of existing materials. What is the most valuable and rare element in the universe? ? I don't have that answer.
Adamantium, I believe.
What is the most valuable?
on the loss of Glenn Hansard.
There he is, Spike. Look at him. There he is.
That's him, buddy. You nailed it.
Gosh.
Okay. 253 says, with regard to our
I'm
feeding,
sorry. That's horrible timing.
Feeding
I'm so
time
sorry.
today. Glenn Hansard, Irish vocalist and recording artist, Oscar winner from the movie Once. 253 says, Spike, I am also grieving Glenn Hansard with you. What a profound loss. I'm grateful I got to see him numerous times live.
I'm so glad that you brought the story in, too, because I didn't know that was his song.
Yeah.
If you had told me his name, I couldn't have picked him out of a hat. But then when I heard his song, it is a beautiful song from the movie you talked. And I'm going to watch that movie.
Yeah, the song's called Falling Slowly. The movie was Once.
All right. This is on a guy's spidey sense. Oh, we talked about earlier, like
you had mentioned
situational awareness.
Yeah, as a husband or whoever, are you walking around like always sizing up the room? Skagit Thaddeus says, I can't sit anywhere in public with my back to the door. I've been that way my whole life, and I'm 54. That's all. Yeah, 100%.
Lynn from Bothell writes, as a teacher, I started noticing this behavior from my students around the time we started practicing lockdown drills for active shooters. We've had quite a few students who want to sit near an exit or away from a window.
Interesting. That's also really sad at the same time. Spike, give us a happy one to end.
Oh, well, I'm going to
do it.
Get away from the millionaires.
Do your Jimothy thing. Do your Jimothy thing on the Jimothy night.
Oh, is there one here? I don't see it.
Jamestown and Eastlake says even trash can looking soda cups, collectible soda cups, that would look like trash cans. That would be
night. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
Absolutely.
They absolutely should. All right, thank you guys for hanging with us today. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and go enjoy your family. John Curley's coming up next. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.
And no, Scott, not raccoon skin hats was not my idea.
No
for
raccoon
Jimothy
skin
night.
hats.
No.
All right. See you tomorrow.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
At Seattle Children's Hospital, 1 in 3 patient families can't afford the food their kids need to heal. A child recovering from surgery and the family struggling to put nutritious food on the table. That's why Seattle Children's, Safeway, and Seahawk, Jackson Smith and Jigba launched the Food First Project to fight pediatric food insecurity by providing grocery cards, produce vouchers, and food as medicine programs for families. No barriers, just help. 12s, we need you. Learn more at Safeway.com. Again, that's Safeway.com.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185. AdvancedHair.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
What would you do if the person you love needed round-the-clock care and you had no plan to pay for it?
I was very worried about running out of money.
When Mike's wife was diagnosed with dementia, he turned to LifePoint Law and Elder Law attorney Rajiv Nagayich.
And then he said, "You're going to be okay, but we have to get through these steps." Then I felt a whole lot better going into it. It was still a very difficult process, but in the end, I knew that there was someone there that if I needed help, understood what I'm going through.
LifePoint Law helped Mike protect his wife, his finances, and his future.
They laid it out really well up front. They give you a very in-depth plan. There are so many things that you don't know. I could never have done it on my own.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Federal